Okay, welcome to session 13 of Traveler Starstruck. When we last left the story, um, the players had jumped from Prenglaro. The piloting roll to get off the planet was okay, the astrogation roll was okay, but the engineering roll was one less than it should have been. So um, you're spending a week in jump. You know that the engine is not at its best. It's not a major effect, but I'll tell you what happens when you actually get out of jump. Um, we have a few players missing at the beginning of the session. Jen can't make it. Tony is away. Richard is away. I don't know if they will join. And even Jerry is a bit late in coming in, but Jerry will join us to play First Officer Brogan Riley. Okay. In jump, of those players who are here, I just want to know what you're doing in the week of jump. I think this is how many weeks of study now? I think it would be
Oh,
fourth week of study.
mine will be one less, I think.
Yeah, you're one less, and Dr. Astria Gaydon would be
Yep.
1 week less because you devoted some time to that
Aye.
uh, seventh low birth.
hmm
So we know
Um,
that.
yep. So I'll be checking on the low berth, checking on the power supply, checking on the engines as well, because that is what I'm studying. And if I have any spare time, did we bring on any passengers? I didn't. I don't remember. Sorry.
Yes.
We found that low bursts. We did get low bursts, and we did get two high passengers as well, because Flostono is a popular destination. You
Right.
had no problems there when I ran the
Okay.
trading numbers.
Well, on my off time, if I have any, I'll just spend it schlepping around Tomo and either getting in the way or helping out there.
Okay.
And talking to RUR about religion.
Yeah, yeah. When you talk to RUR about religion, you said metaphysics the last time, but now it's religion.
Well,
Slightly
metaphysics,
different.
metaphysics is fine.
Metaphysics. Okay. Yeah. RUR 67 sort of cocks his head back and forth and says it does not compute.
Yes,
No,
yes, that's
no
very correct.
reference.
No, there won't be.
So it,
You need to have a soul, I believe, is the term.
oh boy. Okay. He starts asking about souls
That's
and
cool. Or we'll just keep on
he
talking about that
starts
stuff.
asking, is this supposed to compute? Is this some kind of logical trap? Is this some kind of logical trap to cease a robot?
No.
No.
Although I could easily do that with asking you two questions, but I'm not going to. That is not my intent here. I'm just trying to explain the universe to you. Um, Probably is a very alien concept, and I'll try to give as many examples of what a soul or spirit or whatever that essence is a unique energy, perhaps. Blah 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 blah. That's all. That's what I'll be doing. Thanks.
RER 67 says you are hitting me with conundrums. I am familiar with conundrums like my second statement is false, but my first statement is true. Am I lying? I'm aware of those things, and they typically go into a junk file
Well,
so that
don't
they
put
will not
these into a
trouble
junk
me.
file because you'll come across a lot of organics where the spirituality is core to their being, and without being aware of it and trying to understand it, you may end up having a negative result.
Hmm. RER
Or,
thinks about
yeah,
that and
yeah.
says, in some company, I may have to say nothing.
If that's how you want to deal with it, but I just thought I'd try to help you out with it.
Okay, so hours of talk like that. Well, you
hmm
give sort of RUR a ration of a certain number of hours a day because otherwise
Yep.
he'd be pestering you with questions all day. So you reached an agreement to
hmm That's all
only
cool.
speak for a certain portion of the day, and
Yep.
Cicely seems to be uh, taking up a lot of that time.
Yep.
Tomo, what is Tomo doing? He's a steward.
Well, normal steward activities in his downtime.
He's practicing his ukulele.
Okay, that counts as art.
It
Week
does.
4 of studies. Good. Okay, so by week 8 you'll get a roll. All get a roll for testing if you go up in level. Next, let me see. Am I seeing the list the right way? Yeah. Mantar, what does Ronnie do during the week?
Mostly just continuing a study of computers.
Okay. So that's electronics, computers, study, and
For me.
yeah, Jerry's not there, but he'll come in. And then Captain, Justin, what does Captain Derwat do in this time?
So Captain Durrot's working on improving his steward skill. So he's going to be mostly helping Tomo tend to the high passengers.
Wow, you're really getting your hands dirty, Captain.
Yep.
Okay, so the captain with
Money's involved.
yeah, so the captain takes off his tri-cornered hat and puts on a butler's uniform or an apron. What do stewards do? Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure.
Well, when you're just
That
starting out, Captain, it's washing dishes and making beds and doing laundry.
Don't forget to clean out the freshers.
No, that's an
Very
engineering
well.
function.
No, it's not.
the freshers on the ship. Well, every cabin has one. Uh, yeah,
I'm glad we've got an
there's 10
engineer and I'm
staterooms.
just a power core.
10 staterooms. Is there an extra fresher just out by the common areas? Maybe. Anyway, at least 10 freshers.
That's an airlock. 6. 1.
Yeah,
There is
I've
one in
only
the common
cleaned in
room.
3
yeah,
freshers. My own and the ones of the 2 high
2.
passengers.
yeah.
Everyone else has to clean their own.
There's only 2 freshers on board.
Okay. Oh, right, because the number of keys,
Yeah.
number 6 are the freshers. So
Yeah,
yeah,
there's only
okay. So
2.
it is a
So it's
shared
not that
outfit.
bad.
All right, 2 then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people don't have individual things. They
Don't
have
they? Don't
individual
they? Don't they
closets.
have one? Don't they have one in their room, like it folds out toilet and stuff like
Not
that?
really. No,
No, they're just
no.
Guess
staterooms.
not.
Got to walk over and hopefully at least there's 2 for
Yeah, there's one up
10
on top
staterooms, which is not bad.
and one down there for us.
Yeah, keyed with the number 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen these traveler far trader floor plans for years.
Hmm.
I should have known that. Anyway, next, okay, we'll ask Jerry what Brogan does when he comes in. Okay,
Flies
so
casual.
the week goes by. Now okay, Ved Arya is in charge of the um, jump drive and is aware that it's not optimal. It means you could uh, be a bit off course. Could mean more time. Um, Now you go through the week fairly uneventfully. You can do studies. You can add a week of studies successfully and all that. That's all fine.
There he is.
Um, who?
Jerry.
He's in? I don't
Yep.
see him in the list.
He's
Oh,
in
in
the
the
roll 20.
There
There
we
he
go.
is.
there we are.
Yeah.
What's up, gentlemen?
Hello, Jerry.
Evening.
We're recording.
Hey, man.
Hey.
Hello. We are in a week of jump. Um, um, People are doing. I asked around for what they were doing. They were doing pretty routine tasks. The only notable thing is Sissery is teaching RUR67 about religion. RUR says things like it doesn't compute, and he's told that religion can be very important to human beings. So RUR has to act in a certain tactful way and learn about that. Uh, and Tomo's being a steward. You're actually being, sorry, Justin's actually being of assistance. Captain Derwatt's studying steward skill as well. Ronnie's studying computers. What would Brogan Riley be doing in
I think I was
Brogan?
studying laser weapons.
Okay.
And of course, I would be being sarcastic with Jen's character too. I'd always be messing with her, Astria. That's just what I do. Wind her up a
Okay.
little, get her spunky.
Yeah.
And my character, let me pull him up.
It's not so much fun if the player isn't here, but okay, being
No,
sarcastic
it's
with
definitely not.
Astria.
It's
Okay,
definitely
not so
not.
much
But you
fun.
know, but at least the vibe is out there with the other players.
Yeah.
It's important.
We'll leave it
Okay,
to the imagination. It's kind of a Jerry Seinfeld and what's her name situation. Let's see,
absolutely.
Elaine. Yeah, Jerry and Elaine on the Seinfeld show. Yeah,
Well,
that
that would
sort of
be
thing.
under skills. Where would my studies be? Prime?
Prime, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, energy weapons. I'm working on energy weapons.
Okay, so you've gone up to week 4. You can all note that for studies, except for Sissery and Astria, who are
Yep.
back at week 3. That's fine. Okay, now the thing is that Ved Aria, Richard's not here, but Ved Aria was responsible for the jump drive and notes that it's not an optimum engine situation in the jump drive. Um, so he detects an anomaly. It's not a serious issue, but I looked it up in the Mongoose Second Edition rules. What happens is you're 7 days in jump. You expect to get out of jump whenever the eighth dimensional arc of your trajectory intersects with normal space again, or whatever. Okay, whatever it is. Higher math, really mind bending. You wait for the appointed time. Now, do you take the usual precautions like evacuating the air except for the passenger staterooms and things like that, and wearing your vac suits?
Yes,
Do you take the
absolutely. We
usual?
Usual.
always prepare for potential combat.
Okay. Ved would be in one of the gunner. Well, actually, let me see.
I'll be in the
Who is in
engineering
one of the
section.
gunners again? Yeah.
Yep,
Astria
Ved's got
and
to
Ved
go.
are gunners, I think.
Hmm.
Everybody else at their expected positions. Okay, so normal operating procedures. You wait for the moment the expected time clock works, but you go overtime. It's not the predicted return to normal space, and you wait and you wait. It's still not coming. Um, you have to recalculate and figure out that you're spending an extra day in jump that was not intended. That seems to be what the engine has decided to do. Instead of displacing you in space, it has displaced you in time. So you got an 8-day jump instead of a 7-day jump.
Hmm.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer. Well,
Vad?
that
Where are
gives.
my stars, Vad?
Oh,
If you
just
read,
relax, Cappy. Cappy, just relax. It'll all work out. Something's a little
We're a
stupid.
whole day late. I have shipments to sell.
It
On the
happens,
yeah,
bright side,
Cappy.
I got an extra day's pay for doing nothing.
Exactly. What is
Ooh,
this?
Hey, Cappy,
extra
don't
day.
forget I make more than you. You got great.
It's about the ship. It's not about our personal pay.
yeah. So instead of arriving day 109, you're going to arrive day 110. Not much of an effect, except that the trimester is coming where you have to report your profits by day 120. Um,
Hope you've got
if
those ready,
you
Captain.
yeah, if you deliver your if you sell your luxury goods, and if you deliver the shipment that that was supposed to go from Flostono to Teknika, you'll probably make your money in
Yeah.
time to show a fairly good balance for day 120. So I think you might be all right. Um, it's your understanding, Captain Derwatt, that uh, the Argosy Dawn Trading Company is fairly lenient on the first trimester for new ships, new ship hands as you get used to the routine of trading, but it's a fairly rich trading medium, and you can't really miss doing sufficient profit, or that's the impression that you get.
Cappy,
Um,
Cappy, I think you're pissing the boss off. I don't think you want to miss that date. I don't think she's super happy with you. I'm just a pilot, so she don't have a problem with me.
Well, if you make a super profit load from the luxury goods, you might be quite all right for day 120. I'm not going to paint. I'm not painting a pessimistic picture of your things, but you basically have to render an account every 120 days, basically. So those are what I call trimesters. That was
Hmm.
generally the basic setup of the Argosy Dawn Shipping Company. Okay, so it's not day 109 when you come out to jump. It's about 24 hours later at day 110. It's you recalculate that that's what the effect of the engine anomaly is. But you do come out pretty much within range, 100 diameters of Flustono. Let me switch the view to the sector map. Insert tropical music here. So you're back at Flustono. You've been here before. 100 diameters on an Earth-sized planet makes whatever it is. Uh,
The big world.
yeah, 8,000 mile diameter. So you're 800,000 miles out, or 1 million, whatever it is in kilometers. That's 100 diameters out. I'll use the utility, of course. How long will it take? Let me just figure that out.
EG.
Why
Somebody
isn't
run
that
a
website working?
sensor scanner. Somebody run a sensor
Man,
scan.
that was me doing it
Yeah, you're the sensor boy. Run some
on
sensors.
that thing I
That's
made, the
what-
cyber bed I made.
Well, first your range. Size 8 world is 8,000 mile diameter times 1.609.
800,000 miles.
Yeah. A mile is 1.609344 kilometers exactly, because it's defined that way. 100 diameters of that is 1,287,000 kilometers about. Let's call it, I think the
You know there's a
approximate
table for
is,
that.
yeah,
What's the G on this ship, Jerry?
2G.
2G. Okay.
let's call it 1,287,000. You got a 2G, no, you're just 1G for maneuver drives, aren't you?
I thought we were
Are
2G.
we?
Far trader.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, we've gone through this
Oh,
before.
nice
You're
long.
jump
That
two,
kind
but
of
you're
bite was a
maneuver
big
one.
one.
We've gone through this
Kathy, why
so many
don't you
times.
put better drives in here, man? This is
Because
a
it
weak whimper.
costs millions to change maneuver drives. If you were a
Because we
smuggler,
lose out
you'd
on
probably have a
more cargo
3G or
space.
4G.
I
Yeah.
know that. I just like to be sarcastic for a captain.
I
Yeah.
didn't buy this ship. I was given it.
Yeah,
Man. Could have went for a better
Captain
ship.
raised a valid point.
Okay,
What's
but
that?
you're about 6.3 hours to get to the surface of Flustono. The sensor roll. Did you do a sensor roll?
Oh,
Let's see what it
my one
says.
was not for
Brogan,
that.
shut that mouth and do a sensor roll.
Okay.
How are the dishes going, Captain?
They're going great. They're spotless. Should I make a
Excellent.
steward roll for that? I'm making a steward roll. We'll have Brogan make a sensor roll.
Okay.
Make
Well,
a
you're still
sensor
back at
roll.
the dishes. You do have 6 hours.
How did I do? I didn't do bad.
Beautifully, and
Okay.
didn't break anything.
I say he's got a good teacher.
The passengers
Obviously.
comment on the cleanliness of their
That's
stoneware.
astrogation. I'm sorry. Hang on. Where's my sensors? That would be under
Pity, that was a
electronic.
good roll.
It was, but it
Yeah.
wasn't the right roll.
Did Steve do a roll to assist sensors, or
No,
was he the
no.
main
I got
dude?
an 8 on the sensors, but I had a
Okay.
13 on astrogation, but that doesn't
Hmm.
matter because that's astrogation. It's
Yeah.
not.
It's the same plus.
With Sissery and Brogan, you're fairly good
Pierre,
on
that sensory roll was for the cryo chamber thing.
yeah.
And I said I was going to look after it, so
Oh,
I
that.
just made that roll. Yeah, I can make one for sensors if you want. Yeah.
If you want to assist
Yep. Yep.
Brogan, you can do that.
Yep, just coming up to it. Here we go. Hopefully, good luck. 8.
Okay, no surprises here.
Mm-hmm.
You've been to the planet before. You hear the greeting, the previous traveler advisories that are broadcast out from the center of the system outwards. Um, Again, the same sort of thing. Um, you you contact the space traffic control locally, who tell you in Verdulan to follow a certain trajectory path, and you land in the ground spaceport near the capital Acapulco again. Certain uh, certain docking bay. Give me a piloting roll just to maneuver to the planet and land.
Okay. 1 second.
Excuse me.
Where's my piloting skill on here to be dropped? Wait a minute.
It's alphabetical.
It's
Oh,
in
here we go.
the
Here we go.
because it's a specialty. Yeah, it's in the specialty menu. You click the little three.
I rolled an 11.
Oh,
That's it.
easy.
There we go. Pilot spacecraft. Okay, okay. So you
Happy I don't
land in,
fuck around. I get shit done.
yeah, you land in the appropriate docking bay. Flastono has the stats you've seen before. It's on the map right there
Mm-hmm.
and on the handout.
It's a tidally
Um,
locked world.
that's right. Well, it's facing its gas giant.
Oh, it's tidally locked to the gas giant.
Yeah, it's tightly locked to the gas giant, but it still orbits around the gas giant, so the sun is seen to go around the sky really fast.
So it has really long days.
Yeah. Well, no, it has short days. It has a 14-hour day, so it's like 7 days of sun up, 7 days of sundown. Sorry, 7 hours of sun up, 7 hours of
Yeah,
sundown,
7
another 7 hours of
hours.
sun up and sundown. They take two of those orbital periods to make like a
Oh,
28-hour day night, day night.
it's zooming around the gas giant then.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's fairly quick, but you get a lot of nightlife in broad daylight. People don't worry about where the sun is here. They time it so they can get their tans. They got 7 hours to get a tan, basically.
hey, Tomo, this looks like a place to do some partying, man.
Well, it
Oh
was
yeah,
last time.
Yeah, it
yeah.
was.
Yeah, we were here before. That's right.
You're used to the scene. There's one big difference
That's
though. You
right.
were given a six Flastonian day all expenses paid resort thing, right?
Yeah,
You
it
don't
didn't
get
cost
that
us a
now.
cent.
Here, we're like on the chef show, right? People remember us.
Yeah. But unfortunately, unless you have a reservation in a place where the resorts are booked up for months ahead of time, you might only be limited to staying on board your ship, and you can pay docking fees. So pay the standard 200 euro docking fee, which works out to 100 credits. Okay, so ships,
They can take that off the ship
fortunately,
funds.
yeah, fortunately,
You know,
ships get cheap fuel and cheap docking fees.
we could still sneak into the resort areas and the beaches and hang out. Maybe act
We're
like
gonna
we're
refuel on the water. There's
You
plenty of
can do
water
that.
here. I'm sure we can pump it in.
You'll have time to draw the water
Refine.
and refine it if you want.
How much can the ship refine? Anyone know? Like
We've covered
per
that
hour or per
before.
40
day? Sorry.
tons in a day.
Okay.
It's on the sheet somewhere. We
Okay.
covered it before.
Yep. I
Fuel
wasn't here to do
processors
that.
are 40 tons a day, so that's your load in
Beautiful.
24 hours.
Cool. I'll get that underway for the captain once the ship's in water.
So free water refined for fuel, easy on
Mm-hmm.
this planet.
that'll work.
Okay, so the difference is you don't really have a hotel resort reservation here, but you can stay in your ship if you want. If you want to try to get a hotel reservation, that'll be the most uh, action-packed adventure you can get on Flastono. Do people remember you guys, or those who appeared on the morning show? Maybe you will, but it's been about a month from their perspective. Um, You were 4 weeks away. Messages are coming in. There is a message for Tony's character, Virgil. Virgil is getting a lot of intelligence because when you land on a planet, you get all the accumulated or backed up messages that were waiting for your ship, which he gets by diplomatic pouch. And what can he share with you? I don't want to speak for Virgil too much, but actually, this is of some interest, and I'll settle it now. I sent a message to Tony earlier. Don't know if he got it, but can somebody roll me two D100s?
I'll do it individually,
Yeah,
or
a D100 followed by another D100. Don't add them together. So we got a 16 and a
Whoa.
17. Okay.
the
The
hell
reason
is
I'm
that
asking,
possible?
okay, so the reason I'm asking is Virgil was thinking about some kind of black ops. He had made some contacts on Flastono, and he's thinking about doing a black ops to subject these guys to rendition. In other words, they'll be kidnapped and they'll be interrogated and really, really squeezed for information. The D100 rolls you just did, I'm going to apply to a little chart from an espionage game. I posted the handout here, and it's called the Random Operation Name Generator. So when a spy outfit wants to do a random name, they just pick a random name, which has nothing to do with the mission, but it's the code name for the mission. So today's code name with the rolls, whoops, am I doing it right? Yeah, the code name, first roll of 16 is the word cooperate. And second word with the roll 17 is Citadel. So this is officially Operation Cooperate Citadel. Makes no
Okay.
sense, but that's espionage for you. So this operation encoded, let me just type it out officially. If people see it on messages, it'll mean absolutely nothing, but what it really means is Victor's covert operation to kidnap 3 people from uh, Flastono and hold them in a safe house and interrogate them and really squeeze them for information. If you recall, Virgil made contact with a guy called Richard who divulged what art was. That had something to do with artifacts, but you had to get Richard really drunk to reveal stuff about, because Richard was the character Richard was a retired frontier guy who's now an expatriate on Flastono, but apparently he knew about artifacts and something going on there. Um, Pieces of wood, apparently, that's all he seemed to know about it. So he's going to be kidnapped, and there were 2 other guys by the name of what was it? I'm just going off somewhere here. What were their names? I just spoke to. Yeah, I'm sorry, I drew a blank, but I think it was Jakob and Petro and Jakob, who were Verdulan guys, retired Verdulan guys who were involved in the study of the Stranguloi, who are known by very distant radio signals hundreds of light years away. In their lifetimes studying these transmissions, they really couldn't find much. But now those guys have been renditioned as well. And so these are frontier agents apparently operating on a Verdulan planet. A mission has been authorized. I keep saying Victor, Virgil arranged it. And it's going to be the Operation Cooperate Citadel. So it doesn't mean anything. Well, just by coincidence, these 3 guys are going to cooperate like crazy. So I guess you can call it Cooperate Citadel. And they'll be held in a citadel. So the name kind of fits. Anyway, that's the mission name. Virgil gets some other communications by diplomatic pouch. I guess he'll divulge it to the captain and the rest of the crew. But anyway, Operation Cooperate Citadel is on, and when they capture the 2 Verdulans, a message will be passed and the message will be, the green birds are in the cage. The green birds are in the cage.
Right.
When Richard is captured, there's going to be some other message. The postman has delivered the package. The postman has delivered the package. So it's all code words and really cloak and dagger stuff going on. There's other messages which apparently have been waiting for you here. And once the Steppenwolf lands, emails corresponding to the Steppenwolf arrive in your inbox. And one of the emails is from Sorosho Cardozo. If you remember the name, he's the guy who gave you the shipment of 5 tons, which you were supposed to deliver. You're supposed to get over to Teknika 4 weeks ago. And so his email is basically giving you a lot of what the hell content. You know, why haven't you delivered it yet? And he says something that he has looked over things and they didn't really, Brianna and Sarosho didn't really specify any time limit for it. Brianna
Yeah.
sent an email. I think I spoke about it before, where she said, she noticed that you detoured away from Technica and went off to first Sapphire and then Ribicure and then back through Prenglaro to Flostono. So she says she hopes you've made something profitable out of it. So you're getting messages like that, and Victor's getting a lot of hush hush sort of cloak and dagger stuff, but he reveals that it's a new thing called Operation Cooperate Citadel. So there's going to be 3 people captured and sent to some citadel to cooperate like crazy. So we'll see what happens there. But then we get on to trade. Then you have quite an assortment of interesting cargo. Ooh, the cargo's getting interesting because you got expensive luxury goods.
Yeah, we do.
Let's see what the Steppenwolf sheet says right now. If you've been keeping track of it beautifully, we've got the luxury goods, 5 tons in all. Did you get a special? Was it 5
So
tons of luxury goods in all?
that's the freight, which you were talking about from Brianna. Those first 5 tons.
Oh, right. Okay, so not the luxury goods you actually bought, right? So that's the freight that was supposed to go to Technica. The papers say luxury goods,
Yep.
but then you detoured for 4 weeks and it hasn't been delivered yet. Okay, so that stays there. Ronnie is still trying to offload his spices, so Ronnie will do a roll to figure that out. You have 6 tons of the special Savret freight,
Yep.
2
Which
tons of
includes
luxury good.
gold, the crown, and weapon.
Okay, so we got a lot of things to check here. Mantar, do you want Ronnie's roll to go first in selling spices?
Sure. I guess that would be a good
Okay.
thing to try to get out.
Consulting the book once again about trade and spices. Well, actually, let's
Be sure
see
I'm
what
at a
the
+1.
spices say. Yeah, I think you might have an easier time on Floston World. Okay, the factor here on Floston is that it's a rich world. It's almost a garden world. So rich is +3. So figure a local broker is level 2. So it's your broker level +3 because it's a rich world minus whatever the broker level is, and then 3d6. So who's going to do the broker roll? Do you want an assist
If you
from
want to
somebody?
assist, I
Yeah,
can assist.
an assist. An assist would be
Okay.
nice. Yeah, before I do it.
All right. So Justin, you can roll for an assist from the captain, who has probably a high social standing and prestige.
Oh,
Try
can I
a
use
broker roll.
social? Can I use
Uh,
social instead of
what does
intelligence?
broker normally use?
It
I
says it
forget now.
normally uses intelligence.
Yeah, you're probably as well off with intelligence as social standing. If
Oh
I
no,
check your sheet.
I'm a rich guy, so I
Really?
can turn my nose up to them and like, you really want these? These are elite spices. Yes.
Really? You want to try it that way? Okay, I'll
Yeah, I
allow
want
it.
to try it that way. That gives me
I'll
another
allow
plus
that if
one.
I can. I'm trying to jump to your sheet and have a look.
Good luck, Ronnie.
I'm
Yeah,
not that smart, but I am that social.
I see. So instead of an intellect mod of +1, you can try the social mod of +2 on your roll.
Yes.
So 2d6 plus broker plus
Nice.
2. Would that be, sorry, your broker is 1 plus 2. Does it
Should
work
be
out the same?
+3. This is the roll. Gotta scroll down.
Oh, your
Okay.
broker is social anyway. Sorry. You just make the regular roll. If you click the broker button, you're on social anyway.
Yeah, I switched it. I think we
Okay,
can
well, you
both see
definitely
it.
help. So it's +1 to Mantar's roll. If I
Alrighty.
figure out the total equation, Mantar's, again, I should never stray far from the skill grid thing
Yep.
I figured out.
1 plus 1
Right.
is my
Okay,
broker.
so your overall broker level is 2 plus 1 because um, uh,
Captain helped you.
Captain Derwat
Wilson.
assisted, plus 3 because it's a rich world, minus 2 because of the local broker guy. So I'm making it as a big 3d6 plus 4 is your overall roll.
Okay, here we go.
Most assisted by the fact that it's a rich world. 3d6 plus 4. Give that to me.
Going 12.
Ooh, okay. It's a bit low counting everything,
Yeah.
but
Damn it.
okay. And the book says 12 is. Okay, so you get a sale price of 105%, which was better than the 85% you were rolling before.
Yeah.
So 105%.
Not great, but I think I'll have to take it.
Okay, sale price of spices, base price being 6,000 a ton. You had on the sheet,
10.
okay, so 10 tons times 6,000 times 1.05 equals, and this was all to Ronnie, right? Ronnie was the one pumping,
Yeah. I
putting
I
up the
put
money.
42,000 of my own money in on
Right.
this 10 tons here.
Okay, so let me whip
Was
out the
really hoping for a higher
calculator.
roll.
So an entirely personal thing, 6,000 per ton times 1.05. Okay, you're going a little better than the 85%, so you get 63,000 back. 63,000.
Not bad.
Okay, so
You
some
made
profit there.
11,000.
Yeah, finally, but you spread it out over several weeks trying to sell it, so that kind of means, a bit of a lost opportunity time-wise. Okay, next on the Steppenwolf cargo, what do we have? We have, I think the big, okay, 40 tons of freight, very routine. You 40 tons of freight, and if you're carrying freight 2 parsecs, that's 1,600 credits per ton. If I'm not mistaken, we've done this before. Da, 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 da.
Is it 16?
Okay, freight. Yeah, freight for 2 parsecs is always 1,600 credits a ton. So your payout, which will help replenish your completely empty ship funds, is
Yeah, well,
40 times 1,600. Pretty routine stuff. 64,000 credits.
nice. So even if we lose money on this,
Yeah, and remember it's freight, so 5% of that goes to the crew by tradition. So in fact, the ship is going to have 60,800 credits. The remaining 3,200 credits is split 8 ways. It is 400 credits per crew member.
write that on your sheets, folks.
We
Yeah,
have.
Alright.
60,800 to the ship,
Oh,
400 credits per crew member to each crew member.
I'm going to give the ship 10% of my profits off of the sale of the spices. So that's an extra 2,100 credits for the ship.
Oh,
Three.
really? Okay, why do
What
you
was
want to do
the
that?
what was the amount that we got?
400.
400 per
400.
crew member.
Yeah.
400,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
It's a big shipment. And so 60,800 a ship, 400 credits to each crew member. But Ronnie is showing generous here. Why?
Oh,
That was the
because
deal.
I told the captain I would give 10% of the profits if there were any to the ship.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, just
So
for using up
2,100.
space on, for using up space on the cargo hold. I made 21,000 credits profit, so
Okay.
2,100 to the ship.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So
I'll add that to
2,100
the
to the
ship.
ship fund. All right. Noted.
We're getting closer back to the 100 the ship fund started at.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to show more, but I think the big play is coming up soon. Okay, so that's the freight. Low passengers and high passengers. I'm not too interested in rolling a lot of rolls for Astria. I think she's going to succeed in general. So we'll get the low passengers bundled off the ship after a couple of hours. The two high passengers, low passengers,
I
as I'm
think
on that table.
Theory should make a roll for just that one low passenger, though.
You mean the jury rigged low berth?
Yeah.
Okay, let's make a roll for that. But it's
What is the modifier
well,
or
she's
penalty?
medic 3 plus 2, so it'd be 2d6 plus 5.
+5? Oops,
Yeah,
sorry. Okay, give me a
I would
second.
only consider a failure if she
Two
rolls a
double ones.
2. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. All right. So even the jury rigged steampunk low berth is fine, and
It's just
from
synthetics.
the book you'll see that low passage that goes 2 parsecs is 1,300 each. So 7 low passengers times 1,300. We've calculated this amount before. 7
9,000.
times, 9,100 credits. High passengers arrived at Flostono. Maybe they get to go to a resort. They traveled two sets of jump twos. So, oh no, sorry, they were picked up on Prenglaro, right? So, they pay. Oh, you did you pick them up? You picked them up way back on Ribicure, didn't you? And they said they were going to
Oh, that
Stono.
could be. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you didn't pick anybody new on Prenglaro. It was the same high passengers all the way from Ribicure.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope I didn't pay off anything when you landed on Prenglar because the passengers were continuing to travel, but they pay 2 times 1,400 each. So it's 56,000 credits when they get here. High passage. Okay, so they disembark. 56,000 credits. And then we have the main event, 2 tons of luxury goods.
56,000. Okay, I gotta do some more math real quick.
Because it's 2 jumps at 14,000 each. 2 jump twos.
So okay, so we made our ship funds back.
Nice.
Okay, definitely. So to review so far, let's see what we did. To review, Ronnie sold his spices, gave 2,100 credits to the ship funds. 40 tons of freight sold for, 60,800 the ship and 400 for each crew member. Then the low passengers, 9,100 credits. The high passengers, 56,000 credits because they were overall 4 parsecs, 2 times 2 jumps. 2 times jump 2. And now the 2 tons of luxury goods, typical trade center. Um, the factors here are for luxury goods. I think you're going to get a bonus because it's a rich world.
It's +4, man.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So the role being, now does Ronnie want to assist the brokerage?
Come on, some of this profit's yours.
Sure.
Yeah, I calculated exactly what percent is Ronnie's profit. Well, he'll get exactly a percentage of the sale price.
The guy doesn't like my the cut of my jib.
Okay, not okay. So no particular assistance this time. You're
Mm.
acting as a pair. You're acting sort of like a comedy duo at the moment. The broker is less impressed, but Justin Captain Derwatt still gets his main role, which is his broker role. Just 1 + 2 because of social standing. So he just presses the button. Oh, sorry.
So I would get +3 from my broker, +4.
3d6 +3 +4 because it's a rich world, -2 because of the general broker ability around here. I'm not going to modify it. It's not a particularly sharp guy. So that makes 3d6 +5 on the chart.
All right. I gotta hit the enter button. Okay, 15.
15. Okay, that's pretty good. And it makes 120% of base price. So luxury goods, 2 tons only in play. They were expensive enough. 200,000. So luxury goods is 2 tons times 200,000 times 120% makes. This is what the other Richard was complaining about. We either argue about imaginary money or we go left in Traveler. Those were the only 2 actions taken.
Yeah, we're gonna
200,000
argue.
times 1.2 makes 120%. Okay, so 480,000 credits in the sale. I already told you what Ronnie's share of that
480.
was.
Oh yeah, twice.
I made a percentage thing. So 480. Ronnie's cut of that is. I wrote it down in the summary, the session summary. Yeah, 4.00833333%. So times 0.040083333333.
I was gonna give him 48,000,
Yeah,
but we'll see what you get.
Ronnie's cut is exactly 19,240 credits. So
Yeah.
Nice.
ship is 460,760 credits. So 460,760 credits to the ship, and 19,240 credits to Ronnie.
Sweet.
Now, yeah, so it's recorded. I'm going to type it up in an announcement because there's a lot of missing people here who won't get their freight bonuses unless I put it down. So I'll write all this down later. So let's remove those. Okay, you remove those things from the ship. I think I spotted it. But
Yeah.
now we have the.
Can you paste how much money the ship made? Because I figured my math was different.
Well, you started with what, 570 credits? Let me write it down in. The chat for. I'll
Yeah.
write it down officially here. So you had something like only 570 credits left in the ship funds. Okay, so
And we made that
and then,
back.
but I'll show just how much you made it back. Okay, Ronnie's spices, that's a separate thing. Well,
But
actually, out of
I thought, because if you look back on the session document, it says the ship fund paid. Where was it? I gotta scroll down. I don't think I paid that full amount.
Did
We
what?
buy luxury goods. We got it at 90%, so it's 360,000. I'm pretty sure I only paid 345 and he paid 15, and I kept that
Yeah, yeah.
570 in the ship. So that's going to change that percentage. And so he would make more of a percentage
But you
off
still
of
had to
it.
make a total of 360,000. So I took his share, divided by 360,000, figured out it was a certain percentage, and I applied the same percentage on the sale price.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I think our percentages are different.
Oh, okay. Well, I
So
wrote
I
it
got
down.
I got 4.16 repeating percent for Ronnie's cut, for Mantar's cut.
Okay,
Because
but
I
what?
think he paid me 15,000, not the 14 whatever, because I kept that extra 500 in the ship fund.
Okay, well, the extra money is not part of the sale price, so because the sale price worked out to exactly 360,000. So if he paid you extra, you can pay him that sum back. It won't be multiplied or magnified by the sale price or anything. You know what I mean? It's excess money. The goal was to make 360,000, and he donated an odd amount to do that. And I said what it was. Let me go back to that page. Da, 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 da. Arguing about money is fun. Okay, luxury goods. You needed to make 360,000.
Yep.
Ronnie contributed 14,430. If he gave you an even 15,000, then there's an extra 570 credits in the ship funds. But so what? That's not part of the sale. What he donated was 14,430 over 360,000, which worked out to 4.00833%. I'll show you the numbers again if you want. My arithmetic kung fu is great, but let's see.
I could have messed this up too.
I don't want to do a fiasco as bad as the sale price of common consumables like last time, but we'll figure this out very quickly here.
Oh, okay. I did my math wrong too.
Okay.
So I'm just saying let's give Ronnie an equal 20,000, and then I'll take the extra. What is it? 460.
Okay, you're welcome to round things off like that if you want to.
Because I think that's how we did it.
All right. Like
Okay.
760 credits difference. All right.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but I'm
Ronnie's
pretty
cut.
sure
Okay,
that's how we
so
did it in the game.
if you want to give Ronnie 20,000, you can do that. The ship gets 460,000 even. If you hate small amounts, petty cash, fractions, drinking money, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so that's officially the luxury goods sale. And the other things I'm going to note down were that freight. Uh, and 400 credits to each individual crew member. That includes the captain, by the way. So your ship is rich in cash. Your you personally
Nice.
hopefully are rich in cash. Did we pass a salary point? No, day
Not
120 is
yet.
the next salary day, and that's the trimester as well that I'm talking about. 7 low passengers.
Looks like we did good, Cappy.
Looks like I did good. You're right, Brogan.
Yeah.
Oh no, we did good. The ship don't get nowhere without me flying, and you didn't get this shit without the other guys pitching in. This is the crew, Cappy. You're the leader. Remember that.
Looks like
And
I did good. You're right, Brogan.
so,
Hey,
okay, so I've typed in exactly what you've earned so far. Now you have one more source of earnings, which is about the Savret load. Let me see what
Yep.
that is. Oh, did you erase it from the sheet? Because I had it somewhere here. Yeah,
6
special
tons,
Savret freight, 6 tons,
and they said at 10,000 a ton.
10,000 a ton a parsec, and you shipped it from Ribicure to Flostono, so that makes 4,004 parsecs.
Oh,
Okay, but you have to
so
deliver it. Now, um, you can contact Sir Lich to say that you're back and you got the cargo, so it's expected you were going to be away 4 weeks. You're back. Um, you contact Sir Lich the Savrets. The Savrets, of course, look like this. Let's see. Show the players again. Steve, you can magnify that just to get a good shot of it. Okay. Um, you want to contact the Savret, it's Sibrin, Lich, and Repitlian. You just call him Sir Lich. You want to call him on the comm?
yeah,
everybody
let's call him on
survived,
the
eh?
com.
Good.
Okay, so he comes on. He says, and he talks in his typical fast way. Ah, you are the crew of the Steppenwolf. You are back after 4 weeks. Excellent, excellent. You have the cargo?
Yes, I have the cargo, but we have a problem.
Problem? What problem?
Well, you see, there's another buyer for this cargo.
What?
You're gonna
What do
shice
you
the
mean by
dude.
another buyer?
You're gonna shice him.
Seems like the prices went up on your cargo.
What do you mean the prices went up? This is a private delivery. It is freight. They're
Tusk,
paying you to
Tusk,
deliver freight.
Captain.
You are not
Well,
authorized
your
to sell this
freight
cargo.
seems to be sort of on the opposite side of the law. And there's a Apparato who wants to buy it off me for some reason for 300,000.
What?
Yep.
Okay? Out of character, are you planning to actually extort things or make up a story? Did you
Yeah,
what did you do?
I'm making up a story, seeing if I can raise the
You'd have a week.
price.
Yeah, Captain Durward would have had a week to think it through. Did he consult anybody else about it?
This idea. This bad juju.
Probably Virgil, and I'm probably trusting Ronnie because he has Streetwise. Those are probably the two big people. I know Ved's pretty intelligent, but I don't know if he has Streetwise skill. Let's look at it.
Yeah. I don't know about doing that. Ronnie's pretty big on not burning people because when you're little, it's important.
Let's see. Okay, so this is news to me, but okay. So let me just note Captain Durwat in consultation with Virgil, Ronnie.
Here's the skill grid.
wants to, how'd you call it? Extort, stiff,
Yep.
extort Sir Lich.
We're gonna
I think
extort Sir Lich.
it's renegotiate the contract.
Yep.
Creatively, okay, we'll call it creatively renegotiate.
Creative accounting.
What everybody thought was a
So
freight contract.
Siri,
I obviously don't know about this because I'd be all
I
up
don't know
your
Ronnie,
either.
ass.
yeah,
No.
Siri, Ronnie, and Virgil have the best streetwise.
Cicely
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or C, or you just call
See,
yourself C?
whatever. Anything but mud.
Siri.
This is kind of a mud thing, though.
Oh, excuse me,
Well,
my heater went
yeah,
off and I'm feeling it. What's wrong with my heater?
there's
I
some
know about
art
this, do I?
involved. There's
I
some
don't.
guns
My character
involved.
doesn't know about this. Because if I know about it, I'm going to jump your ass. It's not the way you do business.
Ethics.
The way we do business with criminals.
No, you.
No.
A deal's
It's a really bad way to do business with criminals.
deal's a deal. You don't
Ronnie.
change the deal even with criminals.
Tomo.
There might be a little more money at stake, but a deal's a deal. That's how you get killed.
Yeah.
Ask Ronnie and Tomo. They know all about that shit.
No risk, no profits.
Mm-hmm.
You're making money already. You don't need to make more.
He's desperate to hit that mark on day 120.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm writing
No,
down Captain Durwat,
I'm most
Virgil,
days,
Ronnie
so
want to
I don't know.
creatively renegotiate
Yeah. Ronnie's not down with this.
what we thought was a freight I thought it was a freight contract. Did you think it was a freight contract?
I thought it was a freight contract until the police
It's
showed up.
very irregular freight. So is that what you're going to mention in your argument, that you sort of got some police heat, or which
Yeah,
I think you
Yeah.
more or less evaded
we
because of
got
the
some
narrow
police heat,
passageways and
and
things.
then someone who claimed to be an apparato showed up and wanted to buy
Good
this
point.
freight for 300,000 credits.
Yeah.
I don't
Asking
know
for a
why
little
it
more,
was
bit more
that
due to
much
the heat
money.
would be okay.
That's what you're claiming. An apparato
Yeah,
wants to buy all this. Okay, and they offered 300,000. Now the freight itself was, did I say 6 tons or 5 tons?
6 tons.
6 tons. Okay, 6 tons times 10,000 per parsec is, of course, that's easy. Don't even need a calculator for that. 6 times 10,000 times 4. So just to sweeten it and make it more profitable than regular freight, well, they were going to give you 240,000 anyway. And I have to figure alien psychology into this as well. Now, I think you should make a roll, but I'm going to give you a bane on making that roll. It's some kind of persuasion roll, assuming you're sort of fronting this operation, Justin,
Do you
with
want some
with
backup?
Captain Durwat.
Yeah, I want some backup.
Okay.
Tomo gonna give me some muscle backup. I
Yeah,
was gonna do like more of a deception roll other than
Tomo
the
is less
persuade.
impressive or persuasive over a comm. He's got a skill.
Oh yeah, I thought it would be
Well, I'll take your
in person.
persuade skill. I'll take Tomo's persuade skill and chain it with. I think it would have to be Captain Durwat. Is it Streetwise? No, Captain Durwat. It doesn't really have Streetwise.
Well,
I'm
if I just
trying to.
stand behind him while he's on his vid call and just sort of crack my knuckles.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
we
You think
go.
that'll impress?
I don't know. He's
Okay.
a big guy. He might do.
Well, try a persuade roll. I'll give you -1 just because you're doing it by way of a comm and a televised comm instead of in person live. Try to roll a persuade roll -1.
-1, you say?
Yeah, you can add that as a factor. Yeah, it should come
Okay.
in.
I only rolled a 9.
Okay, yeah, okay. And
Okay.
if I touch the 9, I see the breakdown that you did put in a -1 modifier. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that does assist. It adds +1 to whatever roll we can figure Justin can do. Um, It'd be kind of like
So I want to
an
do a deception roll. I want to frighten
deception.
them off.
Okay. So roll your deception, but I want you to set it as Bane, but then give it a +1 because you're dealing with an alien.
Ooh,
You
okay.
fail.
Does this work? So it didn't like the ++1. So I did that wrong.
Uh-oh,
No,
yeah, it didn't.
you just put a
Yeah,
1.
I
And
just put a 1.
try it again. Just typing a 1 in that space there. Okay, that's good. That's good with a Bane. So despite having Bane, um, I'm going to say that manages to persuade the alien. The alien is figuring that you basically put a 20 odd percent markup on things because 60,000, well, 25%. You've basically upped your price by 25%, which he believes his outfit could absorb. But he's staring daggers at you with all his 4 eyes.
Yeah,
Uh,
you fucking mad.
yeah, he's you could
I
sort of see
don't
the.
trust this operato, and I'm losing trust in you.
If you had alien tech, or if Jen were here to play Dr. Astria would notice that the red-eyed Savret is getting even more bloodshot, which probably indicates there's more blood pressure in the back of its eyes, and it doesn't like you basically. So that's the
You
equivalent
just
of
bought the
staring
business
daggers at
ally
you.
for future business and money too. They're gonna be done with
Yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah.
They're
You
out
may
there.
be
Yeah,
you may
They're
be
doing
having an
illegal stuff. Why do we want to keep doing business with them?
because it's money. You
okay,
know, it's still good money.
okay,
Yeah,
but
don't forget what it is.
your argument sort of persuaded things that you had unnecessary police heat, and two of their kind got captured. Well, there was a Savret over there on Ribicure who was captured, and that thing in the tank, the member of the four
Hmm.
zip species, that the gas bag was captured as well because he was in an immobile tank. He was captured. Um, but you guys got off. You guys got away in time. Uh, but I guess he's convinced that since you were exposed to some undue danger, you've spontaneously decided to raise the price, so that is absorbable. But whether he's going to trust you in the future or not, when you do that kind of move, I don't think the Savrets are known for double dealing or dishonesty or anything in particular. But
You
his
didn't
out,
tell me what was all in this crates, and I think it's a lot more than just freight. That there's a
yeah,
lot of other people after this. This
okay.
apparato guy, other Verdulan people.
Flashing back to the previous session, you were talking to the Savret Nasser. Nasser told you what was in the crate. Are you telling
Yep.
Sir Lich that Nasser told you the contents? Are you revealing that?
Sure, I'll reveal that. There's some crown. I don't know exactly what, but I think other people want this crown.
Okay, well, Sir Lich says, what? What did you say? You said that, let me see here, yeah, you said that Nasser Nipolin Chalaran told you that was in the crate. His voice seems to be raising a bit higher, or it's just my voice is shot. Nasser Nipolin Chalaran told you what was in the crate. He told you about the crown, and his
He
eyes
told
seem
us
to be
about the
visibly getting a
crown,
bit.
and
He's
the
getting a.
crown's a lot more worth than a lot more than 10,000 a parsec.
Okay. Well, the Sir Lich says, "Please stand by," and you see his screen go dark for a moment.
Oh
And
God, they're going to launch something at us now.
yeah, let me see.
They're gonna pay, but they won't do business with us again.
Okay, so maybe a minute passes like that, and then the screen comes back on again. Um, Sir Lich says, "Very well." Excuse me, my voice is not the best, but he
Hmm.
says, "Very well. Um, I will pay 300,000 credits. It is not much more of an increase, but I will pay it. I will send our representative with the credit stick. Of course, we're not going to do it through a bank account. We will send a representative to you to your docking bay with a credit stick. Oh, I'm really not in good voice today, but that's basically what he says, and I'll
Yeah.
paraphrase. I'll paraphrase. He says, um, "You've met this person before, who's going to make the delivery of the credits, and his name is Zorgo Lalani, and he was actually one who escaped Ribicure at the same time you did, and it was that member of the Kagarushum species
Oh,
picture, or was
that's
it?
okay.
Yeah.
We can frighten this guy off. He's not that big of a threat.
Well, he's small. He's small like the Savrette.
Yeah.
No, he's about no more than a meter high, and mostly that's some sort of fringes or projections. Where is that picture? Kagarushums. There they are.
They're like
Uh,
elephant faced squids, sort
yeah,
of.
like this. Here we go. Steve, you
Yeah.
can hit the magnifying glass in the center to get the full view.
Yeah.
Wonderful looking dudes.
Yeah. I made a joke that he sort of looked like the what when the cartoonist changes Daffy Duck into some spiky looking creature with
Mhm.
four legs, for a laugh.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the Kagarushim visited ancient Earth and it became an ancestral memory. So I have maybe in our ancestral memory, maybe the Kagarushim appeared and they sort of look like this. Well, we sort of represent them like this in our popular culture. Who knows? It's a theory anyway.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so he says that this Kagarushim guy named of Zorgo Lalani will give you the credits, newly revised to
And he's coming to the starport.
come to your docking bay
Okay. How
if
much
you have revealed.
weaponry can we get away with holding at the starport?
Well, some movers are going to casually offload the 6 tons of cargo,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and at the same time as they're doing that, Zorgo Lalani will deliver a legitimate credit stick for the 300,000.
Okay. Um, I want someone to check the credit stick, make sure they don't have like a tracer or anything weird on it, and then I want
You
it
don't
to
want to be
be.
traced, and they don't want to be traced. So I
Yep.
think it's a fairly good deal.
Yeah, they just want their shit. They're not happy, but they don't. They want their shit.
And then I want some
Yeah,
muscle behind me in case this goes bad.
that's
Oh,
good.
oh.
And Sir Lich mentions that Zorgo Lalani is, well, short of stature, and he'll be having 2 regular goons with him, no more. Okay, so you arrange. Well, you have told him what your docking bay is, and Zorgo Lalani apparently came here by a ship that was faster than yours, probably a Jump 4 ship. So he's been here on Flostono for some time, um, and he apparently has some sort of diplomatic function or diplomatic cover because he represents the Verdulan Sofont League. So he comes by at the appointed time, a short time later, with 2 goons who stand back. Zorgo Lanani approaches your ship on the docking bay, and you remember his way of talking. And he's, because in his language he has to use noun classifiers, but that doesn't exist in Verdulan. But he says basically something: the being called Zorga Lalani is here with your payment. May I address the person called Captain Derwat?
Yes, I am here. We just want to check you, see what weapons you have on you, and if there's anything else that's suspicious. Can I do some
Kind of
sort of
paranoid, Cap.
sensor
I'm
scan
so
on them?
paranoid.
Yeah.
Make sure they're not packing anything explosive.
Not like you feel a little guilty, huh, Cappy?
No, we just gotta make sure everything goes all right.
Uh,
The goons hang back. They probably have some sort of arms which are allowed. in the starport area. Well, the planet itself is law level 3. The starport might be much regulated much higher. Uh, Probably got little incidental knives or brass knuckles or bicycle chain to look tough or something like that. They hang back. They're not anywhere near your cargo ramp.
Good.
But they just look at their client Zorga Lilani very carefully because he's a puny guy, probably whatever height he is. Didn't say. Probably no more than a meter high with all those fringy things on him. No more than a meter high. So he approaches. He extends. Since he doesn't have any arms, I think he has to extend a pouch or something. What does he use for arms? He probably hands you the credit stick with his mouth. Pulls it
So
out
he
of a
like,
pouch, hands it to you. He says, "You can check that the amount is all there." It says,
okay,
"Credit stick suitably laundered like cash."
Like a gift card.
Yeah,
okay. Can I
Everyone,
like,
gift
yeah,
card.
I'll check it. I'll plug it into my hand computer. Can I like scan it, make sure it's not tracking me or anything?
sure. Yeah, it doesn't track transactions. It only blockchains sums of money, and it works out to exactly 300,000 credits.
Okay.
And that's interesting. That was your personal job. Are you going to put any of that amount in the ship funds when you work it through the profits? Your ship funds are in a regular merchant bank account.
Ooh.
You want to put some in
Yeah.
the ship funds? Do you want to keep it for yourselves? What do you do with it?
Well, the boss is going to be checking soon. So, the more we have in the ship funds, the better it would look for us. I don't know.
You don't
Yeah.
think
How
the
much do
greedy
we want to put
captain
in the
wants that?
company funds?
And the Zorgolani says, if thing called bank funds is satisfactory, this humble one will take his leave.
Yes, take your leave, humble one.
Yeah,
We are satisfied.
nice doing business with
All
you.
right. He departs. Okay, so you can have something here that you can transfer to the ship funds. You can transfer to your own accounts. Legitimate money on a credit stick, like cash, like a cash gift card. Uh, I just want to ask what you do with the funds, like where do they go in terms of actual accounts? You can use it. It's quite a whack of cash that you can probably use to bolster your ship profits. If the Argosy Dawn wants you to account for how you got the money, though, you're sort of verging into things which are, well, illegal on this planet anyway. The weapons were quite okay on the lawless world of Prenglaro, though. Or,
Yep.
sorry, well, wherever they were obtained, they came from Ribicure, but you don't know where the weapons came from. They're Verdulan type stuff, and mostly it's gold. So some shippers come by to take those 6 tons off your ship, and the transaction is done properly without it's not gunfights between drug lords or anything like that. So fortunately, it went on without incident. Um, so Zorgalani wants to make sure that things are that it was delivered. Um, Let me see.
You can see that we didn't open any of the crates.
Yeah, you never said you did, so they
Yep.
are sealed things. Um, you told Sir Lich that the Nasser over in Ribicure told you what the contents were. So they kind of don't like that because you could possibly, if you're captured and the Verdulans make you talk, that'll incriminate Sir Lich and Nasser and his organization. But Nasser was already caught over there, and so is the other guy, the gas bag. Uh, Okay, so that's done. I'm just trying to think what to do next. It's just I'm just thinking of the different pathways of this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how I want to break it up too.
Yeah. Can I ask if you have an idea about that? You're the captain. I don't think this was anybody's particular mission. Let me see.
Yeah, but most of us were in there, and we all saw the police, and that was like the biggest heat. Um, I do want to put some in the ship funds or in the company funds.
Well, I tell you what, given the fact that we all risk going to prison or something because there were cops involved, I
Just
think
my
we should be
computer.
getting more than 5%. That goes for normal freight.
Man, how do I can't whisper you, Tomo, because you got a weird name.
He's gonna give you side money and then screw everybody else. That's what he's doing.
Well,
You start
obviously.
by if you type the letter T, can't you get him? Can't you get a whisper to him? You select his name
You
then.
can also message him
Yeah.
on
Discord.
too.
Yeah, I could.
I've got a bit of a problem here because my heater went off and won't come on again on the coldest day.
Ooh, that's not good where you live.
Start a fire.
Not good
Yeah,
where
got
you live.
Get out a
Where I
got
pot
live,
stuff
and
to
make a
burn.
fire in the pot.
it was 60 degrees Fahrenheit today, man.
It's some kind of breaker, circuit breaker within the
Ah,
plug that's acting up for some reason.
bugger.
Canadian plugs are like American ones.
hmm
Why doesn't it turn on? I want a light, damn it. I want the light and the heater fan, and I don't not getting it. Damn. Anyway,
I take a break and fix that up. Look into that.
I was going to ask for a short break. Okay, so I'll take a break as the GM. You can figure out how you want to split 300,000. So that's the question of the moment. Let me go off for just a minute or two here.
I might just point out that not everyone knows that it's 300,000.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true too.
Well, you spent a detour of 4 weeks. Are you hiding from the crew what was going on? Or are you just hiding the fact that the sale price was 300,000 instead of
That you gouged
240?
them.
Nobody else knows that.
no.
No, I don't know that either. I'm talking.
That's true.
It's like bloody phosphorus drugs.
Yeah.
Players
Well,
know,
Okay.
characters don't.
you
Okay.
can decide that the crew are getting their monthly salary anyway, or you can decide that the crew are getting a portion of the profits from freight. But do you want to calculate it on 240,000? Do you want to calculate it on 300,000? So the questions are multiplying here. I'll leave it to the players. I'll go off. I have to just sign off for just 2 minutes here. Just
Okay,
a moment.
okay.
Do what you got to do.
Go and check my chicken again, and that's not a euphemism, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom too.
Okay.
Pop out.
Well, as long as the GM's away, I'm just going to pop in and say hi.
Hey,
Hey,
Glenn.
Glenn.
Hey.
Hi,
Um,
Glenn. I don't even know you, but hi.
it's all right. I used to play.
Hello, Glenn.
Hey, how are you? So I'll let you know when I'm ready and get some of you
Definitely
guys
not. If
Sweet.
I
to play.
can, I will. If I'm available, I would. I would.
All right, cool. Well, I'm going to let you guys get back to it, and I'm going to drop off at some point and go to bed.
Okay.
All right,
Take
Glenn.
care
Good talking
and
to you. Have a great night.
All
catch you
right,
later.
you guys too. Take care, Pierre.
Bye bye. Are we resuming a recording?
Yep.
You shut it off? Okay.
I can
Ronnie,
fix
you
it.
there? Mantar?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I sent you a friend request.
Oh,
Did you get that on Discord?
I don't know.
No.
Should be in the top left of the
Oh,
score.
okay. There's a red thing there. Okay.
I couldn't get my heater working, but
Bugger.
it's only for tonight. We're only having the cold temperatures today.
Mm. Get extra blankets.
Anyway,
Okay,
yeah.
there we go. Accepted.
Sweet.
Okay, so did you decide anything about the 300,000 credits and if you're going to split the profits in a certain way or give it to the ship funds?
So we didn't make 300,000. We only made 240.
Oh, really?
That's
Okay.
what you're gonna
Yeah,
tell the crew that.
that's what I'm telling the crew.
How many of us were there with you to pick this up and
So
hear
you
the?
were there. I definitely told Tony about this because he helped find the information on the crown.
Okay, so you have a missing ghost 60,000 credits, which
And then Tomo was there to help interrogate. So I think it's us four.
persuade.
Hmm. Um. Yeah, Ronnie
Well,
will keep quiet about that in exchange for a share.
Yep.
okay, so how do you split the quote, air quotes, 240,000?
Okay, so we made 240,000. And I was thinking there's 8 crew members, so each of us take 10,000 and the other 160 goes into the company profits.
It's good to me.
That sound good to everybody?
Sounds good.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What was that, Justin?
10,000 to all the crew members, the other
Mhm.
160 goes to the company.
Sweet.
And the 60,000 we don't know about you. You're
And the
just
60,000 you don't know about.
Yep.
goes to you and however you split that up with Tomo and Mantar.
Can you
All
tell
right.
me now how you split the 60,000 or not? You want to hold it in reserve?
We don't know. We're OC. We don't know as players. Characters.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to write a big to be determined on that 60,000,
Yeah.
which only Captain Justin Derwatt knows and Tomo knows. Who
Hmm.
else?
Ronnie knows, and wait, yeah.
As a
Ronnie.
pilot, I make enough money. I'm good, and I make enough money on a couple deals here and there. So I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
I
I
don't.
don't think the knives will be drawn during jump because of a measly 60,000 and a bad split or whatever. But if you want a hidden reserve, you can do that, and split it any way you want. When the Verdulans find out and you're in court, it doesn't won't really matter, I don't think. Uh, Verdulan court.
We don't want to go to Verdun court.
No, no, and there's two people who definitely don't want to go to Verdulan court, which would be
Hmm.
Tomo and Mantar.
Tomo, Ronnie. Uh, but okay, no, you got a sort of waiver to your frontier criminal record. They don't care about
It's
that on the
over. It's a
Verdulan
done deal.
sides.
What deal? It's over. We're clear.
Okay.
For the
Well, there is
moment.
another deal going on. We haven't forgotten we've got a whole lot of our own money invested in this
Hmm.
crap sitting in a bloody
Yeah.
Don't
in a
we actually
Yeah,
storage
that's
locker.
true too.
Oh, okay. You get a message this time from Zorgo Lalani,
Is that the
and
dude that looks like Vince Vaughn?
Yeah.
no, Zorgo Lalani is the Kagarushim guy, the weird alien guy,
Okay.
and Zorgo Lalani's visage comes on the screen, and um, in his convoluted language, he says that despite the very very recent nastiness, the Savrets want to offer you a different kind of job if you're interested.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's a setup.
Mm.
But we can't say that. We
They
don't
might
know.
be setting you up too to get you back. I would be leery.
Well, yeah, it's an alien trying to convey what other aliens are offering you. Let me see what Zorga Lalani could say on the screen. He says that um, okay, well, you can be doubly wary because the Savrets say that they want to meet you on their own ancestral lands on the planet, and there's a certain um, village on one of these, like all of these continents are all stretched out north to south, sort of. And Zorgalulani says, sorry, first of all, he delivered that credit stick. That's all done.
Wow.
Type all this out. Okay. Sorry. Just the way folks at home, this is how you can tell this is real role playing because we fume and fuss about rules and about courses of action, so it's not nice and smooth like a scripted critical role or stuff like that. So look for that. It's
Yeah.
your mark of quality.
That's all good.
Okay, so I typed it into the Roll20 chat. Okay, so after a few hours, basically Zorgalulani in his convoluted way invites you to a potential job, but he says that you have to go discuss it in the Savret village called called
Red
Saverto
Oak
Poli
Holy
Takirisan.
Takira-san. Hmm.
Saverto Poli Takirisan. I'm used to these things because I've spoken to a lot of Sri Lankans, but you're probably not used to these long words, long names. But it's actually off on this other continent on the main map. It would actually be over here. The it's sort of like okay, I am gonna say native reservations. It's probably it's probably quite okay for it's quite okay by their standards, but it's a native reservation which is over here on the map. The closest human resort town would be something called Santa Lucia over here.
Little song coming on.
You're here, so you have some thousands of miles to go from probably from the well, no, you're not in the resort town anymore. You're in Acapulco itself. Where's that? Oh, it's only here. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So it's a trip sort of like that.
Oh,
Not in
7.8
parsecs,
parsecs.
but oh, not in parsecs. It's whatever
No.
number of hexes times 776.
Cool. 7.8.
Yeah.
So round
Figure
about
out the hexes
50.
on this scale. Yeah.
About 50,000.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it could be like a 10,000 kilometer trip across a fraction of the planet. But you can get there. You can get to the nearest
Or
human area.
5,000.
You can get
5,000.
over to the reserve if you have permission from the natives, the native Sophons, to go there. They want you to meet within the next day or so. So they want you to meet there day or night. And what can Zorgalulani reveal about this job? Well, he says it's a local job. It's not involving jumping. They have a job for you on the planet itself, the tropical paradise beaches and everything. Um, but they say it's more on the south end of the planet.
Cappy feel any guilt or what?
Guilt? No.
I'm not guilt not detected.
Apprehension? Yes.
I would say you should, but I don't know that because I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's right. You got to keep player knowledge and character knowledge
Hmm.
separate now that there's a 60,000 credit gap between those
Yep.
Well,
two
we
things.
don't know nothing about that. I just got my 10,000. I don't care. I want to go to the beach. I
Hmm.
want to look at the babes, beach babes.
Um, Zorgalulani, I guess, will only reveal in his convoluted way, or maybe you're missing details the way he talks, but he says it's an on-planet type of job, something that obviously they don't really want publicized, and they
Mercenary
don't want
job, robbery.
Sounds
they
fun.
don't really want the Verdulan authorities to know about.
Or it's a setup trap to get us back.
That's what Captain Derwat and his huge
Yeah,
guild
so
seems to
I'll
be
tell them,
projecting.
like, okay, I'll tell all the crew. I'm not going to tell them about the 60,000, but I'll go like, okay, we know that these guys have some secret crown. We gave it to them. We didn't touch it, but because they know that we have this crown, they might want to kill us, and that this might be a trap for that.
But you
So
delivered the gold, you delivered the crown, and you even delivered the weapons. It was all in the 6 tons of cargo.
I'll tell
You
you,
Yeah.
delivered
Captain,
it
it's
all.
not possible. They're very honourable looking aliens. And I'd love
yeah,
to
but
go
they
Yeah.
and
might
get
want
some
to.
stuff off there.
They might want to,
Yeah?
because we have that intel. And
Ah,
we could share that. They might
I
want
don't.
to silence us.
I don't know, Captain. I think you may be mistaking these guys for criminals when they're actually a political faction.
So where?
I think we did our deal with them, and things went more or less okay. I don't think they're going to try and kill us. I think they figure we're pretty good, and they would want to hire us again and use us for something else. I would not be too concerned about it.
and we get to
My
land on
my
their
double cross sensors are
beers.
not tingling.
Sacred land, don't we?
So we're on Acapulco. Where do they want to go?
Over
Let me show
here,
it
Santa
again. It's
Yeah.
Lucia.
you're not in a resort town. You're in the capital
Chicken noodle
itself,
soup. I will.
Acapulco, and it's about, I would say, about here.
Okay.
No local. I don't have a local continent map, of course. I'm not that prepared, but
Only 7 parsecs away.
looks like a kind of. And you can research the area if you want. This, but they gave you the name of the spot. You can research it if you want, or
The
you can find
Oompa
out more.
Loompa village.
You can ask the apparatoi about it. Say you've been invited to a native night with, and you can hide it. You can hide the true purpose if you want. The apparatoi will probably go with that.
So like 14,000 kilometers away.
Yeah, if I were to count, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
I
about
got like
So
18
a short
18.
trip
hexes.
for us.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a hop, skip, and a jump.
I think they want people using their ships on the planet of. Whoops, I got out of roll 20. I don't think they want people using their starships to gallivant around Flostono, but you never know. I don't know what I said last time.
Well, this is a
Yeah,
special
we probably
visit.
rent something.
Calculator says 18 hexes times 776 per hex. Well, it's almost 14,000 kilometers. A trip like that. It's this planet is the same size as the Earth, where you can't travel more than 20,000 kilometers because everything gets shorter. The furthest spot away is 20,000, and they're asking you to travel 14,000. You could take maybe a suborbital to Santa Lucia itself, or Santa Lucia O, the way it's written there.
Yeah. I don't know if I trust these guys enough to not go without
Doesn't
my
our
ship.
doesn't our ship have an air raft?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, we could just take the air raft.
Raft kind of holds 6, though.
Yeah, but an air raft's a lot less armor than a um
I
Well,
don't,
6, and then
ship.
2 people
Captain,
got to hang
I
on.
don't understand this caution.
What are you so worried about? They're
Yeah,
our friends.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
funny
worried
part.
about a bunch
Some
of
of the crew,
aliens we just gave guns to.
They're friendly though. They're so
yeah,
nice, the little guys.
that's
We're an
funny because
They're
the
established
so
characters.
friends.
business.
I held a gun to one's face, and they
that's
didn't
just
tell
you
me
being crazy.
what they
Just like
had in
this, it's
their
also you being crazy.
cargo. They were totally willing to get shot instead of just tell what they had.
They told us you were the
Yeah.
one that was crazy in that situation,
They were
and
fine.
I think you might be the one crazy in this situation.
I think you're just paranoid. You're good guys. Why are you so
They're
paranoid?
good guys. They're good
Paranoia may
guys.
destroy you, man.
Well, I mean,
Out of character,
it's quite
out of
simple. We
character,
can take.
we've created a split here where the characters who don't know that you stiffed the Savrets for an extra 60,000 credits have a more optimistic view of the Savrets than
Yeah.
the other guys.
It's got to be a good job. What's
All
the
right.
problem?
Well, I got to
Yeah.
tell you, Tomo's not scared of them. even if they've got
Yeah, neither is
oh,
Ronnie.
they're like little monkeys.
Almost not
Yeah,
stealing
but
anything.
remember, 100 little monkeys flinging shit, you're still going to get covered
Can
in
we
shit.
have Virgil to sift up some intel on these guys before we just waltz into the jungle?
Well, I've checked the engines, and the engines are good to go.
Just ask for permission. Might just cost a few credits to fly the spaceship over there. Just get permission.
Okay, I can do that. Can we get permission? Can we talk to the apparato and say, hey, we're just gonna fly over here, meet up with our Subrec friends, and then we'll probably be heading out.
After we pick up our cargo.
Yep. So I'm assuming we picked up our cargo already. I'll get
I
that
love a
ship.
situation where some characters don't know what's going on, and it sort of reminds me of this astronaut meme. Let me see. Yeah, you remember this kind of joke?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. So you find out something and they have to shoot you. Some joke like that. I don't know
Yeah,
why I'm thinking of this meme.
that's okay.
It's
Could be
been
foreboding.
producing me. Well, I got foreboding music aplenty here. We want to run the
Right.
foreboding music? Yeah, let's run the foreboding music before dealing with Savrettes. Why not? See if this
Okay.
comes through.
They're gonna be like some party thing, like the Ewoks on Endor, and they'll be do 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 do. Don't worry about it.
It'll be a great honor going to their homeland, to their
They're
sacred
so
land.
friendly. There's nothing to worry about. Let's just do it. I mean, I'm happy with my 10 grand. They're happy with their 240,000 worth of cargo. Life is good, Cappy. Let's just get this job done. We're gonna be here anyways. How bad could it be?
I think Sorosho sends an email again about when you're going to go off with the cargo to Teknika. He's asking about that. So it's your choice. Do you want to meet them in the next few hours or whenever you can get to that area or not?
Yeah, can we take the ship?
Whole ship?
Yep.
Want to ask the apparato? You probably have to give some story about why you're going to why your destination is. Well, you can say you're going to Santa Lucia, or you can say you're going to the native Sofont Reserve. Which one?
Yeah, we're going to the native Sofont Reserve.
Okay, well, the apparato, you're telling an apparato that?
Yeah.
He asks you, have you been invited?
We've been invited. Can I show him RUR 67? Like, hey, we made friends with the robots. Now we're making friends um, with the Servets. We just want to get to know the aliens on the other side of the border.
Ah, somebody invited you to party? Well, tell me the village and tell me who invited you. But you could give Sir Lich's full name if you want to try that.
Well, I don't really know anyone else's name, so we're going with honesty for once. Yeah, it was Sir Lich. I think his full name is Sir Lichy Lindishan or
Not
something.
good.
How do you spell that? And how do you spell it in
Ha
Verdulan?
ha ha ha! It's so
Wait, is it
cool.
Siberlich and Reptilian?
Yeah, it's Cyberlich
Yeah. Oh,
Leptillion.
it's not that easy. If you're talking to a Verdulan apparato, you have to recite it in the Verdulan alphabet, which would come out like so ibo ro ino lo ino cho ino ro ipo ito lo iano. So you do spell it.
No,
Yep, I
There's
can
no.
just
do that.
every consonant in Verdulan always ends in an O. Every vowel is its own original sound, so the alphabet's easy. But you finally get it through, and in fact, it was actually Zorgo Lalani who talked to you. Mentioned Zorgo Lalani. not?
Oh yeah, there was some. No, I don't want to mention Zergo Lolani. Oh no,
Oh,
he's like a
romance.
noble person. Yeah, I'll mention him.
Yeah.
He's got street cred. They don't know what's going on with him.
Okay, well, the the apparato has to look it up, but realizes that Zorga Lalani actually is a diplomat, so you got sort of a diplomatic invitation. Oh, and that ties in with the fact that you have a diplomatic trade factor status with the robots over on Frodeo,
Yeah.
don't you? You've been flashing that kind of paperwork around as well, or at least Virgil has. So the apparato says it's pretty smoothed out. Um, if you want to move your own ship from one part of the planet to the other and not cave in the side of a luxury tropical resort or something, you just have to follow air traffic control instructions. So it's,
You
instrument
got
flight
that, Brogan?
rules, air traffic control stuff, which is just, it's like space traffic control,
No
only simpler.
problem.
All right. And I'll probably give you a piloting roll +1 because it's just surface work. You stay to a constant altitude, and your speed should be really fabulous, like almost suborbital, so you can get anywhere in half of 90 minutes because it takes 90 minutes to orbit the Earth, so 45 minutes to go from one spot to the other in a ballistic way. So very quick. Okay, so you get a permit for that. The apparato I give you whatever you call it, a surface navigation permit. And you can add that into your paperwork,
Well,
along with,
pilot roll.
Excellent.
you
You
can
did
add
well. You did
all the
well.
permisilo you have already.
Nice.
Permits on a memory key. Okay, so you can take off whenever you want. Do you actually go to the location involved?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Air traffic control asks you to land on a certain spot, which seems to be deep in a jungle, but it does correspond to the Sevret Sofont reservation. Let me change to another map.
Is
Use
this
map.
the location we were told about
It's a
by
landing pad. Yeah, so
Lord
the traffic
Renana?
controllers take you to a landing pad. Let me take you to the view. Changing view. Here we go.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Pretty.
Nice.
And I'll
Now,
start you over here.
guy rip this off. They're gonna come out of the bushes with their sticks, wanting to beat your ass.
Now
Yep.
there's some guys there, some representatives. Your landing pad is off to the left a little bit. I'm starting you
Mm-hmm.
off there. Um, who disembarks? Like you can land your ship in a large
I'll
cleared
go with
area.
the captain.
I'm out there in my full regalia.
Yeah, the
My
terrain seems to be
official.
jungle with, okay, and again, if you don't know already, you can drag and drop your name from the character list on the right, and your token appears magically on the map.
Let's see how magic we are.
Magically on the map.
I'm
Saying
magically on
these
the
are
map.
1.5, these are standard 1.5 meter squares. And I sort of cobbled several maps together so they don't quite
Mm-hmm.
join, but okay. It's cute. You're in a jungle, still more tropical jungle, but with purplish rocks.
Excellent. Oh,
Steve,
Is it
we're
in
this
feet?
way.
I thought we were
That's a
there.
big mistake.
Steve, you jumped ahead.
Oh well,
I'm
just
correcting the
keen.
scale on this damn thing. 5 foot squares? No, I want 1.5 meter squares, of course. And
There
maybe
you go.
change to a bit more appropriate music if you're hearing it. Turn that off.
We are hearing it.
Let's see. Here's a different music.
Spooktastic.
That's very bad. That's not the mood I want either.
Ah well.
Let's see. Jungle, jungle, jungle.
Jungle. Jungle bunny music.
Okay, something more jungle-y. There we go. Wonderful. You hearing that?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's still
Right.
creepy and
I'm,
upsetting.
yeah, I'm not trying to establish a creepy mood. I just wanted the jungle sounds. It's the best
Jungle's
fit.
not creepy, especially on a planet you don't know, with some
Yeah.
aliens that are pissed off at your captain you don't know about.
Before
Huh.
you departed, did you do any research on this town, the
I just
Safon settlement?
I just flew where the captain said.
I'm hoping Virgil did.
I just got all
Yeah.
my ceremonial garb on, thinking it's official.
Oh,
Ceremony.
Really?
well, leads here.
How hot is it?
You can get some leads
Tropical.
here. Do some praying. There's some good
Yeah.
leads. If you smoke them,
Oh, I've got my
they'll-
dance ready if we need to do a proper introduction.
yeah. You should smoke one of these Levy things with me, and then we can pray. I'll even pray with you too, brother.
Right.
So you communicate with interpretive dance, do you?
No, it depends on. I'll wait for the lead from the captain, and then if anyone needs to be like an official welcomer
Can
or
you do,
receiver or something, I'm ready for it.
Steve? Can you
Hmm.
do like can Cicely do like an interpretive slither up and down a tree bark?
I'll
Can you
do
do
my
that very quick?
damnedest. I don't have a
Uh,
It
skill, but it sounds
yeah.
more
See,
sounds
you
like
like
got
pole dancing to me.
yeah. I don't have the skill pole
you
dancing.
got no skill. You are what the Savrets would call you maneuver like a tree cow.
Thank you. I appreciate the description. Not. But I'll use my dexterity if that's allowed to do my best slithering along the tree.
If you must.
Not there yet.
When called for, I'm getting ready. Although it will be a bit difficult in my costume, but that's okay.
Hey, if another 4 weeks, I'll have Art 0 and I'll be able to do that myself.
Ah, okay. But anyway, it's all good.
Putting the jungle music on a loop, by the way, if you really get tired of it,
Mm.
just say so. It's 10-minute loops. Okay, so you land. Some of you are on the surface. There's 4 of you. There's 5 players here. Astria is very prudent, and she's been sort of into the role of the designated responsible adult, so she'll stay on board. Keep
That's
the
usually
ship
what
locked up
she
tight.
does.
Brogan,
Ed,
first mate, you're going first.
Why am I
Go
going
across
first?
this rickety bridge.
Happy? These are your people. You made a great deal with them. They want to
Yeah.
see you.
I'm happy to go across, Captain.
Maps
I'm
the
You're
the
the
map's a best
captain.
fit. The bridge is not as rickety as it looks. It's
Hmm.
more maintained. It doesn't have holes.
You're our
This is just the
leader. You're
best fit.
supposed to lead.
What do we know about their cultural things? Does the leader lead, or are they welcomed ahead by somebody else? Or
Where's Broken on the map? Sorry.
Yeah, where's Brogan? That's what I was asking.
They're pretty big drinkers. We know that.
true, very
Okay,
true.
Oh, that's
Wilson,
right.
Sissery, Tomo, Ronnie, Jerry. You just gotta take your name on the right side, drag your name over to the map, and then your token should appear. Have you done that before?
Hold on, I gotta. Hang on. Yeah, I have.
He's not even on the
You have to be
page.
on the pointer. I think we were playing with the scaler, but yeah, I gotta switch
I'm
back
there
to the
now.
pointer. There you go. Okay,
There we
got it.
go. And he's in
Happy.
Oh,
front.
and
Lead.
or you
Happy.
don't have to snap to the grid either. If you hold down Alt, you can
Yep.
position yourself in between squares if you wanted to.
Yep.
It doesn't have to snap to the grid if you hold down
It's
the
good
Alt
enough.
key.
Those
enough.
guys are happy to see you on the other side. You see those 2 guys?
Yeah.
They were looking for you, Cappy.
There's 4 guys.
Okay,
You brought them all
Steve's
the good
correct.
stuff.
So, how are we
One-
proceeding, Captain?
You're the
With
leader.
caution.
Of course. Well,
Take the lead.
this is their land, so we should respect their culture. Did anyone think to look that up?
I told Virgil to look it up.
Okay.
Who's an NPC right now.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. So in the time before, I can maybe do a secret roll concerning Virgil and his knowledge. Now he's an intelligence character. Or character with intelligence background. I'm looking for other things like diplomacy as well, which he doesn't have. But spies are supposed to be able to insinuate themselves in.
I'm wearing my cloth and reflect. I also have my auto pistol, and I have my submachine gun under a jacket, and a blade.
I'm just wearing my
All
underwear
right.
under my
Okay.
costume.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
making a
loaded.
secret roll or two here, but I think
Especially in
things
an
look good.
environment like this.
Okay.
I've only got 2 guns.
Okay.
Can't
Well,
run an auto pistol.
okay. Carry the weapons that you want. It's fine.
None.
And let me recap just a bit about the Savrettes. They tend to speak very quickly and in their native language, rapid strings of syllables. They're very three-dimensional because they can climb up and down surfaces with their sticky gecko-like pads. I don't think I wrote anything down about their particular emotions. I'm going to have to look up something real quick in another book. Totally different game, in fact. This art is coming from a game called Bulldogs, which is sort of like Space Trucker type game, RPG. And Savrettes. What about their psychology? Page 60. Oh, you're going to love this psychology.
Oh boy.
Well, they're small, they're puny looking. They tend to talk faster, but I think that's just their metabolism. Let me see. Okay, this is the fuller description that I gave. Oh, here's something that sorry, I keep calling him Victor, but Virgil finds out. I'll read it right off the book. Savrettes are not particularly greedy beings, but they find puzzles and challenges irresistible. Savrettes have been known to steal something and then just as clandestinely return it once the item's absence is detected. They enjoy complexity and their minds are just as sharp as their bodies are quick. They can easily visualize and remember in 3 dimensions and have no trouble playing chess in their heads or remembering which cards from a deck have been played. Savrettes are banned from most casinos due to these abilities. And you can expect casinos in a resort planet like this, so Savrettes are not allowed there. And they have long names and all that. But you find the thing that there seems to be some mention about their kleptomaniac tendencies. Something to watch out for. Culturally, they have beliefs in polytheism, I think, and there's not a whole lot more about it.
Okay.
This or that. Creation myths. I don't know really what to say about it. On the assimilation scale, like how well they can deal with humans or assimilate to a typical human space traveler capitalist culture, they are only at 4 out of 10. So to give you a rough guide, and that's pretty much all that Virgil can tell you.
Cool. I'll use my link. Well, if the captain wants me to do some sort of welcome sort of thing, and go across the bridge first.
Whoever wants to represent you.
All right.
Okay.
Sure.
So I've got linguistics on my wafer, so I'm going to try to sing very fast, thanking them for inviting us onto their sacred land, honoring their gods. I don't know their names, so I'm just going to say their gods, that sort of stuff. Blah 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 blah, that sort of thing. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do as I walk across the bridge.
Okay, as you're walking across, do you want to make it a linguistics roll then?
Yep. Well, that's the only thing I've got that I think I can, because the language I've got is Verdulan, and that won't work. Yep. Okay.
If they're locals and they've had extensive contact with the Verdulans, they might obviously speak Verdulan,
that's
or most
okay.
of them
It's
will.
the same modifier, but I'll just go with linguistics and try to do it on the fly.
Okay. Regular roll. I'm not gonna
There you go.
touch it with a modifier.
9.
Okay. I think their reaction might be a bit puzzlement, but not displeased. They just accept it as your own version of a greeting, so that's okay.
So far back, Cappy. Come on up and join us.
Yeah,
What's
I'm
wrong?
gonna let me take a screenshot of this momentous occasion.
Aren't you our leader? Why are you at the back of the line?
Yeah.
Take the
Well,
lead,
it's
Cappy.
Yeah,
if
He's
you
leading a lot about
Do you remember?
about dictating other people to go and do tasks. So
Yeah.
I'm letting you guys go ahead.
How
You
Yeah.
how
remember?
I'll
genu
stay in
how
the
Remember?
back
how
and
genuinely
dictate.
interested in our welfare you are, Captain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the captain's beginning to learn about trust
Yeah, well, that's
and
okay.
how important it is.
So I'll bring a little piece of a rock or something that I got from somewhere else and give them as a gift to them.
Oh, really? From? Do
Yeah,
you say it's from a certain planet?
yes. I'll say it's from my
Which?
homeland, my home planet,
Oh, really?
something
What's your
very
home
sacred to
planet?
me. Laidley, I think it's called. Hang on a second, I'll tell you if this thing works. It is, yeah, Laidley, Laidley.
Really? Okay.
It's a breathable world thing. Hang on. Typical world with breathable atmosphere, dry, little industry, no, not industrial. Yeah, that's it.
Interesting because they yeah, all the planets you came from are from part of space.
Hmm.
Actually, one of the Verdulans, no, one of the Savrets asks you in Verdulan, uh, how far is Laidley from here?
Mm.
What coordinates was it
So
that
I'll
if I
talk
ever
to
wrote
him
it down?
and I'll say to him, um, you know the distance between stars when you look at the in the night sky, many times further.
Yeah, okay, so assuming you can come up with the answer because you know the coordinates and you can
Okay.
work out the distance in parsecs, um, this creates considerable interest to have a piece of a planet from a distant star,
Hmm.
um, and I'm going to sort of put a pin in that.
All good.
Um, so just say that this rock that you gave them, or pebble, um, excites considerable interest among those people who witnessed it. Okay, so they basically say these savrets scutter around in the bush, and they say, please follow us as best you can in in land walking mode,
Certainly.
because the savrets themselves are not walking on land; they're sort of scuttling up and down tree trunks and jumping from tree trunk to tree trunk, but their general direction is to go northeast. And so basically, I'd like you to follow to about here.
Hang on, I've
Whoops, let me
zoomed
just
in.
ping
Sorry.
it
Oh, yep.
here.
Yeah, yep.
And then from there, all of you, you can go on east. And they walk you past some sort of cleared area, which actually is cleared with some really old looking tiles. Where's the rest of you guys? Oh, sorry. I guess I should move these guys as well. Let me see if I can dung. Ah, trying to move. Yeah, I can move these four at the same time.
Wow.
Let's say they're sort of leading you.
Yep.
So you see a sort of really old looking ancient tiled area,
Yep. The altar.
uh, some kind of altar, but they walk past that and they take you to yet another map. The tiling ends after a while. You get some more uh, bush. I don't know why that jungle suddenly turned into gray fungus or something, but that's the best fit for a map I have. Ignore the fungus.
No
Uh,
boy.
Jerry, you're way behind.
Yeah, sorry. I'll just listen and I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, move your token over. You're passing an area just so you can see this shit. It's
Okay.
area with like a temple area. It seems to be some sort of
Oh,
altar
okay.
right here. Impressive stuff, but they
Is
lead you
that an altar
further.
we transported?
Oh, you didn't transport any
Ooh,
altar.
we transported a crown though. Maybe they're gonna put a crown on the altar. Maybe do some human sacrificing.
Are you asking the
Yeah.
Sevrets about the altar?
Well, C's gonna look at you, Captain, and just tisk tisk tisk.
They lead you past the altar. They all seem to be doing some sort of obeisance, like they're, well, it doesn't look like they're crossing themselves, but they're doing something with all four arms when they pass the altar.
Well, then I'll nod
Don't,
my head, bow my head as I go past. Stop him
Yeah,
before he
they
Ronnie will
don't,
goes.
nod as well.
they don't care what you do because you
Yep.
don't have the requisite number of arms anyway.
No,
But you
that's fine.
pass on, and you go on to another area, and I'm going to completely change the map on you again. Here we go. We're clear area here.
Rightio.
We got to
And
pull our tokens on there or what?
I think so.
tokens on the left side about here.
Okay.
All of you, new tokens, new area. Actually, this scale is, how am I going to do this?
Yeah, how do I shrink?
This map's, I'll shrink you guys because this map scale I think is about half. I'm giving it half the scale of the previous area. So these are 3-meter squares instead of 1.5. So you're sort of on a half size scale here. I didn't set the
That's
map
okay.
correctly.
That's fine. We get the idea.
I'm going to shrink you just for the sake of this map.
Shrink us.
Set
Okay,
dimensions.
it's like Matt Damon's movie about downsizing. What a stupid movie. Let's see.
We don't seem to get the same.
Oh, sorry, because I didn't hit Alt. That's my problem. Yeah, my problem. I have to hit Alt as I'm shrinking you so that you end up about half. There we go.
Yep.
Otherwise, it snaps to the grid. So you've been downsized. Ha 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 ha. Roughly half. I'm not going to be exact. Now you match the scale. And there's a lot of savrets. There are savrets. If you look through the whole map, there's all kinds of lookouts. And if you notice
Say hi to your friend, that one dude you made the deal with. He's in the middle over there somewhere.
They all look the same to me.
yeah, they look the same. I've inverted a few of them. Oh, and check out this snazzy effect. If you see a bunch of settlements, now the huts, I'm going to say, well, I'd almost say that they are mud huts at first glance, but you're not sure. And I have a cute effect, which is as follows, because if I want, I can change the whole map to change to interior views like that. See, so it'll subtly change,
There you go.
Cool.
give you interiors. Isn't that cute?
It is.
But of
Very
course,
nice.
for the
Neat.
moment, you're seeing only the outside and not who's in it. And this, let me see now. Where am I at? Yeah. I think the 4 Sevrets that you were with previously, they're still there. So you do have an escort of sorts, probably people from the outer perimeter standing watch. They lead you into the village. How are they going to do that? Well, they're probably going to have to move here. This is not water or anything, but you can move to around here. And you see a whole lot of Savrets. And basically in Broken Verdulan, some of these say you have been expected. We will take you to our leader who is over in this hut, and I can change to the interior view, and then I got to do some stuff here to change the map type. Blah. They lead you over to here, and then there's all kinds of guys that I have to make visible. Let's see. There's a leader, there's some henchmen, like that.
Are we ushered in?
Yeah, you're ushered in. There's some low benches here. seem like really human-style low benches. This guy here is actually sitting on some kind of throne. Actually, you couldn't see because the big token was there. This looks like a fatter soubrette than usual, and he's sitting in a chair with some sort of creature with four tusks projecting out from the headboard of the chair. So the tusks are kind of above him, and he looks like a bit of a more obese soubrette than usual. But you guys are invited to sit on the benches, and one of these soubrettes comes on and intones in a kind of ritual voice. He says something in soubrette, and then he says something in Verdulin, which he says, "All hail and glory to our chief." And then brings out some very, very long name in Verdulin again, and I'm going to suggest what you can call him. The full name is.
Oh boy.
Let's see, did I type it right? Of course I didn't.
Actually, I like where Ronnie's standing. I'm gonna go over there. That seems like the
I
safest
think we
Let's have
should
place
be
another room.
to
behind
shoot out.
him.
We're supposed to be on these seats.
Hmm.
At the benches. If you want to zoom to
Don't insult.
120% or something.
Don't
Oh,
insult.
and use your Alt key. Use your Alt key to avoid being skipped to the squares, whatever you want. Why is Ronnie behind the chief?
Yeah. Don't think that's a
Should
good
Oh,
be
I
idea.
thought
here.
we were sitting on those benches.
No,
Okay.
just the first two benches in front of the chief,
Alrighty.
or less.
Oh.
There's 4 or 5 of you, or less.
Chief Rebelema Ding Dong, isn't it?
We lost
Yeah.
Brogan again.
Yeah.
Brogan's in the woods.
He's selecting a few choice leaves.
Brogan is he like loitering? What's Brogan doing?
Yep.
I'm moving him.
Jerry.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm with
Doing
you
it
guys.
too late,
I'm hanging
so.
out. I'm in there.
Cool.
Now one Savret is talking to another down here, like this, and causes considerable agitation. And the Savret talks to the chief, and the chief says, "Apparently, it seems you brought a stone from space."
Hmm.
That can be powerful. We have a belief that objects can gain powerful magic the further they have been carried, and you have carried something between the stars.
For a very long
Very
time,
powerful
yes.
magic indeed.
He's
Should
traveled
make
with
use of
me
this.
for about 12 years. You're welcome to it.
I'm going to calculate how many parsecs away Laidley is from this place.
Hmm.
That'll
Well,
be
it's also
important.
Got to
traveled
remember,
with us
Yeah.
yeah,
throughout the
true.
Dueling space.
Got to
But,
also remember that C's a
Aha!
drifter,
Okay.
so he's traveled
Okay.
around quite a bit.
Yeah, so it might depend on how many parsecs it has traveled. Yeah, that can be really amazing. And in fact, it was one of Larry Niven's books about the Dream Park.
Hmm.
And the Inuit had a belief in magic about how far something was carried would
Yeah.
increase its magic potential. And so Sissery has been traveling yay number of parsecs all through his life with this stone. So it'll cause considerable interest. They think they can actually use it as part of their negotiations with the Verdulin Federation. Actually think that a magic stone will help them.
Well, I hope it does.
You know,
This is
these
a
are the same.
considerable.
You guys know these guys are obviously cultural purists because we know other cigarettes that work for the same company we do.
Oh,
those
No,
aren't
those were
rats.
those are not Soubrets. Those were the Claymans.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Clemens were
the
they
fishy
were
guy.
told.
Claymans where we were drinking with.
Ah,
We weren't drinking
Yeah.
with rats.
Claimants had a higher assimilation factor and could go into space and be space crews, and they excel as
Yeah.
mechanics.
I got you. Okay.
The Savrets are
Sorry.
less. Yeah.
They all look the
Okay.
same to Tony.
Oh no.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
That's the quote of the week there. But okay. The chief says this is a considerable boon you have given us, and it may go a long way to repairing the matter of the extra 60,000 credits. Thank you.
I
You're
say
welcome.
that's quite all right, and should look at everybody on my side. Like, what the hell is he talking about?
I just shrug.
Okay.
Ronnie just sort of nods, like,
The chief
"Whatever
sort
you
of
say, Chief."
explains that they have a philosophy of dealing with people to show kindness to those who show kindness to us, and show utter wrath to those who have shown utter wrath to us. So you have like a spiritual ledger, and he talks about something which sounds similar to karma. If you collect good
Yep.
karma with the Savrets, you'll be treated well. If you give them shitty karma or stiff them by an extra 60,000, that's shitty karma. But it's all ledgered and accounted for, and they try to balance it out
Okay,
very
he's
keenly in
mentioned
their
this
mind.
money a second time,
Captain,
has he?
if you did such a good deal, you must have really good karma, huh? You
But
did a good
but
deal.
Well,
he's mentioned this money a second time.
well, it's he doesn't say karma, but he says something about
Yeah, no,
he
that
says
part's
some.
A
okay.
ledger.
But
Ronnie,
did he say it
you're my
twice,
parole
Pierre?
officer.
Okay, and are you implying something by that? Are you inferring that they have something on their mind? Anyway, the chief says the following. He says that they are interested in hiring humans for work that Savrets might not be able to do. And they say that there are ancient sites which were known to be important to our people. These are not sacred sites, but apparently they are very ancient, and we want to see if we can retrieve uh, items similar to the crown of whatever, which I'm not going to
Crown of
mention that
whatever. I
name.
like it.
Crown of
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
Um, the Sevrets basically are saying that they want you to do some cave exploration to try to find more items like that. And they can even
Ah,
give you some of the weapons that was in the shipment of cargo that you had delivered here, and not mention what was that you overcharged them for it. Now he does mention the extra 60,000 credits out loud. What does that do to Brogan and those who didn't hear about the extra 60,000?
well, if he said it more than once,
Big eye the Cappy, like,
I'll say he said it once.
okay,
He
once.
was
I
Well,
would
mostly
turn and look
I've
at
just
no.
shot
Cappy
that
like,
weird look.
huh?
That's all.
I'd give him a look like, what?
Hmm.
I just stare at him, and it's like a big eye look. What the fuck is that? Is
Yeah.
that
Oh,
why
and
he's
I'm sorry.
standing in the
I
back?
didn't give. I'm sorry. I didn't give the name of this chief.
Yep.
Chief or big guy. His full name is
Ooh.
Tesseralni Porvenili Sinap. Tesseralni Porvenili
T-Nap.
Sinap. Easy.
It's quite a name.
But
T-Nap.
I suggest you call him Mr. T.
Mr. T. Well, Chief T.
Chief G.
Chief T.
Yeah.
You want to give him another name?
If he is
I like
amenable
Chief
to
T.
it, I apologize for my lack of ability to be able to speak his name truly, because names hold power. But yeah.
They don't care about names. Their names are descriptors or something that they did in their
Okay.
life, or some
Right.
long story in the Sevret language. They
Okay.
don't
Well,
care so much
if he's
about
happy
names
with
and
Chief
power.
T, then I'm happy to call him that. Um, I can't. I talk to the chief if he's been talking to me primarily, or the group. I don't know. And I'll just explain to him that I can't assume this job. This is directed to our chief, pointing to Wilson. He needs to make that decision. He makes all the business decisions.
Okay,
I'm always going to just lean over and tap Wilson on the shoulder and say, ask them if this is if the if the Verdulan authorities know about this and authorize it.
That's a good point. I'll ask them that. Like, what do the Apparato and Verdulians think about this spelunking venture you're sending us on?
The chief considers for a moment and says, the Verdulans are not even aware of the existence of these ruins. We are trying to recover our own heritage without interference from the local Verdulan authorities, basically the Flostono people.
Well, so that sounds very reasonable, doesn't it, Captain?
It does, but we got other stuff going on.
Ask
But
them.
we just travelled in a
Captain,
loop, and
ask them if there's a a time urgency on this.
Okay, can you
Yeah.
express it better in
when does he want it done?
Okay,
that's not very diplomatic. When do you want this done? I would say I have other business that I put off to go get your crown, and I should fulfill that in a timely manner.
the big chief here is consulting with this other guy, some kind of advisor, and the advisor speaks up and says, "I am authorized by my chief to tell you that the things you may find in the ruins may be of use to us in our negotiations between us, the Sophont League, and the Verdulan authorities to reestablish our title to tribal lands. Objects of historical importance increase our status and our karma, or whatever the word they use for karma. And I don't know if it really makes sense to you, but he gives a time frame in Verdulan days, which amounts to maybe 2 or 3 months.
sounds perfectly reasonable to me, Captain.
So we could go do our other job.
Yeah, but our other job's going to lead to another job.
Yeah, well, we just find something to come back here. I like this planet. I want to retire here.
Yeah, Ronnie does too.
If you gain enough money, which is, retirement funds, and if you fill out the proper Verdulan forms, you could be like that expatriate Richard if you wanted to eventually, but that's beyond the scope of this campaign. As we're down to episode 300, episode 500, wheelchair wars. Yeah, that'll be fun.
How many episodes are we at now? We've been going for a long time.
This is
12.
session 13.
Oh,
Not
13.
bad.
Nice.
Yeah, not bad.
But okay, so the chief's advisor is speaking up, and the advisor seems to be more able to try to deal with humans or interpret human thought. They're speaking Verdulan adequately, but it's all the psychology is different, of course. And they say that we are trying to look for objects which will increase our stature in the eyes of the Verdulans and the Sophont Leagues. We don't want to appear like primitives. We want to appear like we have a history. Yes,
Sophisticated
that's it.
civilization.
We want a history. We want face. He's using a lot of Savret words, which are long and undecipherable. But he's trying to convey to you that they're trying to get stature. They're trying to recover what's in those ruins to try to reestablish reestablish their history, and blah blah blah. That's their goal. But they
That
don't
doesn't
really
sound
know.
like it's very profitable.
Well, not to us, but to their race it will be.
Oh, good. Okay, so you're subtly going to the question of fees and salaries in your subtle way, right?
No, I think
You're subtly going
we
to
do,
talk about fees.
Captain. If we do this, we get this could be really, really useful for for future trade and things like that.
If you are in with one faction of the government, and if the Savrets assume more autonomy, they become their government, at least partly the government of this world. The world ends up being shared between the Savrets and the Verdulans, and you have an in with the Savrets, so you have, you may have some sort of advantage there, but I don't want to assume anything.
Homo can open a bar here.
Among the Savrets, do the Savrets drink? You know, the Claymans drink like fish, and they're sort of almost fish. They drink like fishes, but you don't know
No,
about the Savrets.
I was thinking more of at one of the resorts, but it wouldn't hurt to have
Yeah, but they may want to
some
take
local
down the
investment.
resorts.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
s-
trying to see what else you can do on Flostona other than have tropical resorts. The location and the beauty and the temperature are human ideal, and they're also Savret ideal.
Yeah, but when there's more tourism from the Frontier Federation.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah,
I'm thinking ahead.
there's as much
Captain,
tourism from the
my
frontiers as
my
as
vote
long
would
as they
be
can get here.
we do our thing and take that stuff to Teknika or wherever it's supposed to be going to.
No. Okay, well, you can. It's okay to plead
And
that
then
you have
come
some
back.
other. You have some other job to do. Are you firmly promising you'll come back within a certain time, if you measure it by Verdulan days? Do you make a firm promise, or say you can't promise anything? It's up to you. I
I'm
don't
gonna say
think they
we
will.
can't promise anything, but if we return, we'll try to get in touch with Sir Lich,
Okay. Well,
and you can share the locations then, and we can
all
see.
right. The chief is chittering with the advisor, who's chittering with the chief, and Chief T says,
Unless the cruise really wants to go spelunking,
Mm.
but
"Right
I kind
now,
of want to keep our.
Maybe not right now, but I'd like to come back. I think there might be a whole lot of money on the other end of this whole
Yeah,
thing.
me too.
If they seize control of like part of the planet, and we are good friends of theirs, that's a lot.
Trade concessions, all sorts of things can happen.
Yeah, but
Oh
we
yeah,
got a ledger to balance out.
yeah.
Apparently.
We got to deal with our trade stuff first, but if we
Yep.
can squeeze this in, I think it would be a good future investment.
What's with the 60,000, Cappy? He said that twice. What was that about?
No, I never. I don't know. I didn't hear that. I thought it
He
was
said
just
it
some.
once, didn't he?
He only said it
let's
once.
say once."
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that
Yeah.
was strange
I,
because they
He
sort
did
of
say
I
it
think you
though.
don't know
just.
what they're
I
talking
think you
about.
just misheard him.
No, he did say it though. That's the point.
You're getting the extra money because it's a euros versus regular credits. You got to do your
Yeah.
math correctly.
Yeah, it's a
I know
conversion
math's
thing.
a hard subject for you,
I'm gonna do
Brogan.
an intelligence roll,
Yeah.
Pierre. You tell me if I read through the bullshit.
Okay.
Can I roll a deception roll?
Okay. So, Justin, you can do. Captain Durwad does a bullshit roll,
Oh, I only have an
Yes.
intelligence of 6.
and I think the difference in effect will probably carry the day. Uh, okay. So you're
I have
doing
an
a
8.
plain. Okay. Well, that's a very plain intellect roll, and Justin sort of just slightly
Oh,
beats you. So the bullshit about extra 60,000 being a talk about in euros. Now, I would think that whether it's in a euros or whether it's in credits, they're talking about extra money that somehow, beyond, they're talking about
Look,
beyond the agreed
we
upon
had to.
price.
It's all that. It's all that. It's all that money. That you have to. Extra cost for having to. Bribes and stuff like
look,
that.
Brogan, I'll do the math for you. It was $240,000. I gave the crew 80,000.
You don't have to do the math. You rolled higher than
Yeah.
me. I'm
Okay.
still
Okay.
suspicious, and I
That's
think, but
33% other
I
than 5%. Do you want to give me back
whatever.
your
Cappy, I don't want to hear it.
$10,000
I want to hear
and
you
only
say
get 5%?
whatever, Cappy. Whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever. I got my 10 grand. We're here now. Let's just do what we got to do.
If only they hadn't paid us in pesos.
I'm liking this, but not all players will like the same things, especially the bullshitty.
I like the lying about it. That's excellent.
All right.
Good job, Ronnie.
Yeah, I think Brogan may figure it out later, but not in this context, not here anyway. So that's all right. So the chief is basically saying, very well. You have your duty and your what is it? Your karma, your life path across the stars, and it may or may not intersect with us. But you are welcome back if you want to try it, and we will try to tell you as much as we know and agree upon a fee. A fee which we will insist is settled honorably and in an unchanging way.
Yes, honorably, with full information up front.
Very well. You may depart in peace.
Well, I'll bow to him and then I'll move out.
I'll bow to him too.
Okay, very good. Okay, alien psychology. You're attracting a curious crowd as you make your way out of the village and back west over to the. It's fair walking distance to the
Tomo
landing bay.
Tomo reaches into his jacket and just slips the safety catch back on his shotgun.
So safety off, you mean?
No, the safety was already off.
Okay.
Yeah, put it back on.
On. Okay.
Just in case. You never know.
Okay, Sil will reach into his jacket and give them some credits.
Give who credits?
Whatever he's got. The creatures, the aliens.
The
if they can use
Severets?
it. Yeah.
You're giving them money just like that?
Yeah. He understands what it's like to be in a different culture, being minimized, being marginalized.
Yeah.
For what? For Cicere's religion?
And his race, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bloody bleeding heart.
Aren't
Let me
we?
see. Oh, screenshot. I'm screenshotting this too
Yep,
because
that's
it's
cool. So
okay.
I probably won't have that much on me, so I'll just give them 100 credits if that's okay. Not to the kid. Well, if there are little ones and there's older adult sort of ones, I'll be giving it to the adult ones. So I don't know if this is any use to you, but if it is, please take it.
Are you distributing 100 credits to a few Severets? Okay, that causes a bit of a stir, but okay.
I don't see why it would, but.
And they say something like, "It's the human money. Thank you, good sir."
I said it might not be any use. Yeah, it might not be useful to you. I don't know.
Okay, so you can depart, and you can get back to your ship without any problems. Let me see what else here. Okay, basically, if that's fine, it's an offer on the table that you can do in the future. You can get back to the main city here. Whoops, I gotta move the player banner as well. Using a touch more technology today than I usually do. There we go. Okay, so you can make your way back very quickly. Like, it's less than an hour to get back to your docking bay in the city of Acapulco. From there, back to here, of course. And whoops, my zoom is wrong. Okay, and I just have, sorry, got a bit of a bookkeeping thing here to make a note. Let me see. I'm going to make a secret GM roll as well. It's sort of encounter related.
Yeah.
Okay, you make your way back. I wrote down all the trade things that you did. Did you calculate your new balance in the ship funds?
It should be on the sheet, yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you were able to replenish the 100,000 reserve of the ship funds, and now you have
Plus
company
quite a
profits
bit
plus
more.
that. Wow. Okay. If it works out to that, that's great. And some people have made individual amounts of credits as well. Fine. Let me see. Now that's good because you're building up to day 120 when you're going to have to render accounts and maybe transfer some of that profit. And I don't really have a way to tell what Starship can normally do in 4 months. But I think it'll be generally average or favorable. I had something else that I wanted to cover. Now, if you're back on the ship, you're still at about day, whatever I said it was. Yeah, you arrived day 110. You replenished your fuel. You did the thing to Savrets. You did your trades. Because of the fast transportation, you probably could all do this while it was still day 111. Do any characters want to do anything more now that you're in the paradise world of Flostona, or are you bored of tropical paradises, or what? Give me
No,
some
never.
thoughts.
I think we should get our cargo and go do that other job.
Yeah. Now you still have the cargo that was meant for Teknika, the so-called luxury
Yes.
goods. You had an option for 57 more tons of common raw materials, which I think um, you had already paid for that, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yep.
Didn't you?
basically stuck
Okay.
in storage.
That was when we had
Okay.
hardly any money, and we put money in, and I put like, I don't know, about 10. I can't remember how much I put into that.
We put a
The
lot of money
split
in
is
there.
already written on the Steppenwolf sheet that it was 15 tons from company funds, 10 tons from Wilson, 4 tons from Tomo, and so on.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Um,
Cool.
so if you're going by that original split, all the characters were in for some tons, and eventually you filled up the remainder of the whole. So you have the 5-ton shipment you were meant to get to Technica 4 weeks ago,
I don't
uh,
think Siri. Yeah,
3
Siri
weeks
didn't
ago.
buy any.
No,
Sissery?
Sissery.
Sissery's not on the list. No,
no.
it says Wilson, Tomo, Ved, Ronnie, Brogan, Virgil. RUR is even in for 2 tons,
Mm-hmm.
and Astria for 3 tons. So if you stick with the original split at the original price, you can buy the tons of luxury goods at whatever you bought it already, and now you can load it on your ship, show your options, and load those things. So you have a fully loaded ship. You have a fuel. Your life support has gone down though by a week, I think, from whatever it was. I said it was 2.5 months previously. So you're now 2.25 months.
Yeah, I marked that. We only got 9 weeks left.
Okay. So does any character want to do anything else? And of course, I can't speak for those who are away. Astria, Virgil, Ved, Aria, those
No.
3 are away. Anybody else want to do something?
Apart from what I message you, no.
Or you picked a stone from the planet Flostona already, or some
Yes, yep, I
ocean
got some
water or
sand.
something.
Got some sand.
Logan would
Saying,
probably just hang out on the beach and check out chicks and take it easy.
oh, you can do that for a few hours. You can go through maybe day and part of a night cycle.
Yeah.
Little nightlife, partying, tiki torches, lights
I
on
do
the
agree with
beach.
Tomo. This is the place to retire, though. This place is awesome. But I'm not going to really raise too much hell. I'm just going to check them out and relax, and whatever's next, we'll go do.
Okay. Um, I'm going to just say that you slip into day 112 because it's really hard to leave Flostono. Um, you're not at the best possible beach anymore because the resorts tend to seize the Finnish beaches. Actually, no, if you pay a sum, you can probably get onto a day pass for a beach or something like that. So um spend 10 credits and you can get onto the beach for a day.
I definitely would do that for better views. I like bikinis. Yes.
Mhm.
Their views. Okay.
I would
If
spend
you
the
say so.
Better views and quotes.
Okay. Um, All right. So, do you now proceed? Do you want to proceed to Teknika?
Sounds like
Yep,
it.
I think so.
Okay. I have a little bit of a workup. Well, I have written not only a Teknika map but a whole Teknika handout, which is in the planet folder. Like that.
There we go.
And just to be very brief, well, you should have some idea where you're going. Um, you'll notice those two red lines across the equatorial region of Teknika. It's a hot world. The feature about Teknika is that its atmosphere is, well, it's rubbish. It's thin tainted, I believe. Size 3 world, very small. Thin tainted atmosphere. It does have 40% hydrographic. Population is in the hundreds of thousands. Made it as 508,000. You roll an extra in Traveler 5 and you narrow it down to a certain number of hundred thousands. Um, Government 3. Now that's not a commune. They're on the frontier side.
Mm-hmm.
And law level 3. But tech level is D, which is a 10, 11, 12, 13. And the thing about this world in the write-up is as follows. Okay, so it says it's considered non-industrial just because the population is lower, but it does have a high-tech classification. And the traveler advisory that you'll get is expect to interact with non-human AI interfaces at your arrival to the planet and high port. The high technology planet uses robots for all heavy labor. Um, they are kind of an industrial, they are getting to be the industrial, starting to approach the industrial level because that stat, non-industrial, is tied to the human population, but they can make as many robot workers as they want. So their actual labor force is larger than the
RUR might be
population
a
will
help here.
expect. Why is that?
RUR might be a help on this planet.
Yeah, look at who's here also. You might not he might not be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we might want to keep RUR secret.
Yeah, you remember that the Rossum Institute on
Yeah,
this planet.
Oh yeah,
they
okay.
they might try and dissect his brain or something.
Repossess their equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the first impression. Although their first attempt on Plostono itself didn't work, and now RUR is going to their home turf actually. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but before that though, let me mention that
Yeah.
as I was saying, the equatorial region is a higher temperature. This planet is actually in the first orbit of a K-type star. There's a dwarf star in the eighth orbit, which doesn't really affect the temperature any worse than that, but equatorial region is so high temperature that the oceans have started to evaporate, and the acid tainted atmosphere is also bad for affecting metallic structures at those temperatures. And Technica is home to the Rossum Institute, probably the most advanced robotics research and training institute in this sector. It's partnered with Technica University. A good number of Technicans are involved in robot development, design, and maintenance. They've configured their society so the same robots they export also perform the bulk of heavy labor on this planet. So they're actually more industrial than their population will expect. They've transferred more and more of their professions to smart AI systems, but they have never achieved true sentience yet in their research until they've heard of what happened on the planet Fredeo, who spawned those robots from Rossum Robotics who spontaneously became sentient. Um, and basically only the polar region is really habitable barely if you have a compressing respirator to concentrate and filter the air of slight acidic elements. In an equatorial band the temperature is too high and it's boiled off the bodies of water, but in the polar regions they do very well, and they sort of have an outdoors if they can sort of have an outdoor life if they keep their respirators on. um, so that's Technica. uh, and Technica is also home to the native sulfons, the 4-zip, and those are those football-shaped floating gas bags. You met one of them on Ribicure in the tank.
Yeah,
Oh
I was gonna
yeah, you
ask. I'm like,
think.
I think I've seen this guy before.
Yeah.
The 4-zip are a species that look like this. met them before. There's one of them in a tank on that when you met people on the Nebula.
A flump.
I
So
remember
I have
that guy.
Oh,
have
they just
a
float around, huh?
yeah. Now I was supposed to make a link. There's supposed to be little links that you can switch you can switch between handouts, but somehow I forgot how to make that work. I'll make it work in a moment. But there's a handout for Technica and a handout for the 4-zip. They are the native species on Technica, and apparently, because they are brainy more than brawny, apparently they can discuss. They've even managed to give the Rostam company insights on robotics and programming questions. Even though they don't have arms or any concept of human things, they have an ability to work things out in their minds if you think of asking them. So that's about the 4-zip. So that's where you're heading to. Did you have any questions?
Yeah, just imagine, not a question, but just an observation. Can you imagine what will happen then if RUR communicates with some of the AIs? He could bump them into sentience,
Potentially.
maybe. And then we could have robot rebellion on our hands.
Okay, interesting idea. Well, you've had several chances to infect things before. Um, the jelly eggs that you brought to Floston or Flostono could have infected the oceans and started to reproduce uncontrollably, but I didn't have that happen. They're just used as food, and they're defrosted and eaten as food, and they were very popular.
Yeah,
Um,
but we're talking about AIs that haven't quite achieved sentience and an
uh-huh.
actual sentient robot. I mean, if they did a little bit of sort of robot, interfacing.
It became sentient through some poorly understood process of exchanging programs between Mater Noster and the robots. I'd have to figure out if Mater Noster is necessary or if a robot alone can transfer what they know to an unsentient robot. So it's an interesting question what would happen.
And
But
then sort of, and they might instantly have loyalty to Mater
yeah,
Noster.
yeah.
We bring down
RUR,
both. We bring down the Federation and the Verdulan Empire in one orgy of robot bloodshed.
okay, I'm gonna probably have to split this universe into an alternative universe where there's an oppressive regime called the Mater Noster Interstellar Empire.
Oh yeah. Ned and Astor just takes over that whole system. Calicino.
So we're going
Well,
to Teknika.
Calcaneo first.
I will
You
just
know,
say that I welcome our robot overlords, all hail.
Or in their language, 1010101100.
there's a little World War II German saying for you. Day of the world, tomorrow the solar system. Okay, so yeah, it's interesting ideas. So it's a possibility, but the question is whether a single robot unit, RUR unit, can do that or try to infect non-sentient RURs with sentience, since the model is pretty much identical. They've probably diverged over the years because of upgrades and things going on Technica, but interesting, very interesting. Any other thoughts or ideas? I think we can probably do maneuvers to go into jump safely this time, I hope, without a delay of a day.
Yeah.
So let's conclude on that note. So we need the usual rolls. You take your leave. You're loaded up with the 57 tons, all right, after a time. So I'm going to make it day 111 by the time everything's done. And uh, I need a piloting roll. So it would be Brogan with an assist if you want.
All right. Second. Pull them up. We're going to do piloting. Skills. Okay. Spacecraft. Boom. A +1, you said? or straight?
Straight pilot roll, whatever your
Okay.
skill is.
We have
Okay,
a
no
10.
problem. And then astrogation for a 2 parsec jump to Teknika.
That would be me again also. Astrogation.
Of course, all the apparato paperwork to ship from Flostona to
I
Teknika is
have a 10
okay.
on the spacecraft roll and an 8 on the astrogation.
Okay, that's good. And somebody, I think Mantar,
Yep.
can you roll for vet area for the engineering? It would be whatever it was the last time. Huh. We're used to this.
Jump drive.
He's got a pretty good skill, I believe.
Engineering jump drive is level 2 plus 1. So it would be 2d6 plus 3. I don't see much
There we go.
problem there.
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh boy.
Ooh,
Okay.
Double
Now
ones.
you've had perfectly refined fuel. You were okay. Maybe I think an assist or some recovery from whoever
Me.
else can do
I've
engineering
got
drive
jump
can
drive.
probably
Rolled an
negate
8.
that. Okay, so
I don't think that's going to be enough to salvage that one.
okay,
That's
so
only
let
that's
me
the oh
okay, so I think assist will give a +1. So Sissery has been assisting with his, and his
that's
augmented
skill
wafer.
-2.
Yeah, so it's an effect of 2 below what you should have safely. So this is going to be a jump, possibly with you might be off the mark, not time-wise, but space-wise, if I read the rules correctly. But we'll settle that in a week or so. If you spend the normal week time in jump, you'll determine by how much you're off when you arrive. So the jump is not the best. The engines are temperamental. I forget how often you have to pay to do some maintenance on these ships. Is
Every
it every
year.
6 months or something?
every year.
Annual. Yeah, okay,
Every
only
year.
annually. So the
Yeah.
engines are starting to go off kilter progressively, let's say, for some reason. But okay, not too serious. I'm not going to alarm the players with, like not like that other campaign with a going off several parsecs, requiring us to go into hibernation for 31 fucking years. Nothing like that. So you are more or less on your way to Technica, and I think it's a good time to stop the recording and in the game a little early, but it's a
Okay.
clean.